lovely day!
Welcome to Flat Earth Debate Uncut and After Show. I'm your host Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this channel, or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you'd like to join the community debate, then go to nathanoakley.com and check out the Flat Earth Debate forum. If you'd like to support this channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they premiere. There's also a PayPal, Patreon and crypto link in the info box below the video. Now we're currently joined by 10th Man and I think it's Flatzoid. Let's just have a quick look. No, Mind Warped. 10th Man, yeah, and Flatzoid, so yes, we've got quite a few of them, so I'll raise the mic on them and you can enjoy the dulcet tones of these guys while I set up for the first live show of the day.
Sorry?
Just doing my intro. Just ignore it.
Okay.
He's just monkeying around.
So the same thing keeps happening until pretty much all the monkeys get replaced with the new monkeys, but every time any of them go to the stairs to go and get the bananas, they just turn on each other. So it's just basically social dissonance and like programming, and how people can be programmed within literally only a space of a couple of 100 years. Like, it's not hard to actually change the programming of people. It's really cool.
There's another one with fish where they have an aquarium and they have a piece of glass acting as a barrier between two types of fish. On the one side is a predatory fish who eats fish. On the other side is his food, the bait, basically. And every time he charged, he hit that glass and he would like get dizzy or whatever, and then go back and charge, attacking the fish on the other side, but he couldn't see the glass barrier. So after repeated attempts and realizing that all he could do is look at it, they took the glass out. And now that there was no barrier, he would not go past that point. He was already trained by the pain.
Exactly. Yeah. It's interesting, eh?
Yeah, similar to the monkeys.
I suppose the difference with this one is that when the other ones are brought in, like they apply the new rule onto the other monkeys without them knowing. So that's the only difference there, but that's still the same analogy, which is still cool.
Well, Roger Bannister broke the 4-minute mile, and after he broke it, multitude of people have broken it, but until he broke it, everyone thought it was impossible.
Exactly.
It's the same thing. I mean, it's just there, right? I mean, the good thing about...
Sorry, if I go quiet, I'm not ignoring you. I'm just going back and forth through my editing. So
yeah, no problem.
Nathan, are you there?
Yeah.
You want to see this motherfucker, man? This is fucking well good.
Okay.
I'll just screen share really quickly so you can see it.
Recording, you know that, right?
Bit sweary there, mate. Bit sweary. So...
This is recording.
Sometimes the swearing is justified, though, and this is definitely one of them. I'm just trying to pin it. I've got two clips to show, and I'll literally show you like them really, really quick. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to drag it out. I'll just show you the outcome. Right. So screen share. This is effectively going to be a premiere then on your channel.
Yeah, we're right at the beginning of the premiering show, so.
All right. So basically, I've released a video today. Let's put it in cinema mode. And basically, I've done one video. I've prepared a response already. Right. I've got a syringe held horizontally with a bung attached to the end of it. And what we're going to do is drop a lit piece of magnesium into the conical flask and basically burn the oxygen that's inside the flask, change the density of the air that's inside the conical flask, and then measure the effect using the plunger. And basically, the idea is if relative density, if we force a disequilibrium by burning this, the syringe will move. So obviously, that's exactly what happens when we do it. So when we set fire to the the magnesium strip once this catches fire. So then what we do is we drop the magnesium strip in, put the bung on top of it, and then whilst it's burning the oxygen that's inside the magnesium chamber, the conical flask, it's pulling the plunger in, right? So we're creating a disequilibrium, and this is the effect. This is literally the effect of what's happening. So we can see that there's a force being created. Yeah. Now there's no interaction, but there is a force. So there's nothing moving that other than the disequilibrium itself. This is really relevant in the context of the cherry tomato, because when we move the cherry tomato out of its position of relative density, when we move the cherry tomato out of its state of equilibrium, the cherry tomato will move back to the position it sits in. And the question is, well, what's the cause of it moving if it's not gravity or buoyancy? Well, we're manipulating the density of the medium by burning the magnesium in the conical flask. So that is causing the movement, right? It's got nothing to do with gravity or buoyancy. It's literally changing the density of the medium. But what I've then gone and done is taking that one step further. I'll have to re-screen share. So, because I need to do my whole window, my entire screen.
I saw your video, Sleeping Warrior, was fantastic.
So yeah, so it gets better. This is the exclusive bit, Nathan. This bit isn't public yet. I'm going to release this next. Let's try and make this a bit bigger.
Yeah, that's good.
Hide that. Now I don't know whether I've got my time scale on. Right, it's too big. That I need to have my time scale on it. So basically, what we've then done is we've decided that we'll do the same thing again, but we'll see if we can lift weights to see how strong this so-called force that's not got any interaction, but see what we can do with it. So again, set fire to the magnesium, drop it in, bung it, and now watch. Now, the problem is, according to Newton's first law, F equals ma, if we've got an accelerating mass, which is definitely the bit that's attached, we've got a force. But the problem is, there's no interaction here. There's nothing interacting with it to do it. All we're doing is burning the oxygen content inside here, and it's creating a vacuum effect, which is pulling up the weight. No gravity or buoyancy. The cause is what's going on inside here. We're manipulating it. We are proving that there is no buoyancy effect in the egg or the cherry tomato. The effect is literally the change in the density of the medium that we're in. We're proving it. And because we're doing it, it satisfies scientific method. So scientific method states that the cause is the thing that is varied or manipulated by the researcher. Now, obviously, this video is the property of Sleeping Warrior. That's because Sean said I was stealing it. I'm not having that. So I'm just demonstrating that we are causing this, and it's us. We're doing it, and it's our video. So Sean's not going to find the original video to claim that I've stolen it. But it's going to be good. My next upload is going to be, this is my next upload. So you've had a thingy there, or what do you call it, an exclusive.
I'm just bringing up your video. So what I'll do now is I'll stick it in the live chat. Tap.
Sorry.
What's the title of the video? I haven't got it on screen now. I've just got the link. What's the title of your video you put up an hour ago?
More proof that relative density disequilibrium is causing movement. No gravity required. Do you want me to copy and paste it?
No, it's okay.
It's brilliant because if they're going to claim if they're going to claim gravity and buoyancy, and we're proving that it's not, they're not going to be able to deny relative density is causing stuff. They can't deny it anymore. No gravity or buoyancy either.
Okay, so there's a link in the live chat now, so refer to that.
Yeah, it's a good day to be on our side of this gravity argument, because gravity's nonsense.
What gravity?
Exactly. If we can prove what it is that's causing it, then they've got to then prove that it's not that, it's something else, and good luck with that.
If
You
anything,
can have a whole bunch of crying bullets later.
Again,
if
sorry?
anything, Sleeping Warrior, you've got gravitas.
Yeah, I've even had somebody in the comments saying, I've pinned his comment. He's actually said, Greg T, Anthony is doing more science than Baldy Cats, putting Baldy Cats to shame. Anthony is doing science, putting Baldy Cats to shame. He's right. Baldy Cats doesn't do this.
Who cares what Baldy Cats does? Jesus.
Well, he claims to be a man of science, doesn't he? And he's not actually doing any science. He's just preaching the gospel. He's more like a prophet or a fucking, what do you call it? A priest. Yeah.
Yeah, middleman.
James Mason says, no matter how you explain it, Globetards will deny it and say that you're a moron. Oh, gotta go phone.
I published the wrong video this morning. Went to the effort of digging out a clip that was about 10 minutes long, because I've done several. And by mistake, I uploaded the wrong one.
What video are you talking about?
Playing now, which is bad. I'm supposed to be gathering up an audience for this show. There's FED toe tag 659, but I've accidentally put the actual show number that I've republished, which I didn't intend to, is 660 uncut and after show, whereas the show I wanted was a small clip from 659. But there we go. I'll just do that. I'll do that later on this evening. I'll just publish it then.
So you got a title and a proposal, but the wrong clip.
Well, not necessarily, because toe tag numbers are the numbers given to the person, so that doesn't have to change, because it's still toe tag 659. That's what his name will be from now on.
Gotcha. Okay.
So that's fine. It's more the fact that I didn't intend there to be a 2-hour video playing. I mean, I don't know if it is 2 hours, but something around that, if it's an uncut and after show, which it seems like it is.
Oh, I see. You just wanted like maybe 5-10 minutes or 2 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. I wanted a short. The toe tags are supposed to be short, to the point obliterations that are about 10 minutes long. That's the idea.
Unless this torture took 2 hours.
No, it didn't. No, it didn't. Not at all. It was, like I say, it was the debate after, so he was still on the show, which is good, because obviously it's got his name next to it, which is, at least it's actually relevant. But I'll just do the short clip later and just sod it. I'm not going to remove it from all the playlists. It's just too much effort.
I think the toe tag is clever. I like the short renderings of all the different logical fallacies.
Or not so short, in this case.
Well, like I said, some people like torture. Oh my!
We're not live yet, are we?
No, this is the pre-show. Live about
Cool.
10 minutes.
I might just share my screen and show you guys what I was talking about before about that 5 monkeys. I haven't finished rendering it, but just do a little clip maybe.
Great. Right, I've stuck the Discord link out for the live audience when they get here. You're not sharing, by the way.
But still recording.
Yeah, but I'm saying, I thought Mindwarp just said he wanted to share something.
Yeah, he does. The 5 monkeys.
What?
It's a story about 5 monkeys.
Oh, okay. That's lovely.
Cognitive dissonance, I think.
I see. Right, you presented. Not an experiment. So we've just got a stills video playing. Are you going to narrate it, Mind Warped? Because you're on mute at the moment.
It's kind of hard. I'm running two screens. I'm rendering on one and trying to play it on the other, and then I've got Hangouts on the same one.
That's okay.
So yeah. Hang on. Leave it with me. I'll come back.
No worries. Slick.
Hang on. Let me just try and work this out. Hang on.
Just do your rendering, I would say, because that if you cock that up, that will leave you annoyed.
Yeah.
So I would just focus on that until it's finished. That's just my advice.
All right, no worries.
Take it or leave it.
All right. While we're on that subject, have you done the H.265 rendering yet that I was telling you about?
You what now? No, yes, you did tell me about the codec. Yeah, you told me about Slight. Yes, I haven't. I've stuck with what I've got because basically the bonus with the way I'm rendering it, I've forgotten the method or the type that it's called, is if the computer dies or crashes, it doesn't lose the recording.
Yeah.
Which is the main reason I picked it over whatever I was using before. I can't remember the name of any of these file formats, but that was the one specific reason I used it, and it labels it nicely and does a few other things. It's like you say, it's not as from what you told me and what I looked into. You're right; it's not the preferred upload method of YouTube. Therefore, technically, it could be a little bit quicker if I did use that format.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. It's still good. I just thought I'd ask. That's all.
I did look into it though. Yes, the various different file formats. It gives very vague descriptions in OBS. You actually have to go and look into it to find out what they all mean.
Yeah, it's just a better system for using online, just for streaming.
Sure.
I'll be right back.
No worries. Tempted to just have the one show today. I've got right behind on all of my website work for one reason or another. I never seem to have time to actually get it done. I might just have one. Might just have one show today.
You'd be bored if you got everything done.
I wouldn't. Not enough hours in the day.
Yeah, it's just the way we're built.
We'll see how it goes. See how I feel in an hour's time.
Yeah, what happens when people get everything done is they say, "Oh, I got time to take on new projects," and then they just overload themselves again.
Well, yeah, that's precisely what happens. I mean, when it comes to YouTube, I like doing it, so I'm obviously ultra keen. But then I tend to lose track of time or make a mistake. And in the case of today, I did both. So I was late setting up this show because I was fiddling and faffing around. But there we go. It's all YouTube related.
Okay, so I changed screens. Want to? Okay, can you see that?
Yeah.
Cool. All right. So yeah, we were talking before about how it's easy to pre-program people without actually realizing it. So this is just like 5 monkeys in a cage. But you'll see it's pretty self-explanatory. I just thought it was quite cool.
Sorry to interrupt. Don't play it. Use the scroll button. I know it's Migmag's, but it's not his material originally. So if you can just scroll through to the relevant bits that you want rather than playing it. Thank you.
Okay. Yep. Copyright strike. Sorry. Yep. So they're all in the cage. Bananas. They put a step up, and then every time one of these guys goes up, they get sprayed. All right. So every single time they get sprayed. Then they end up taking one of them out, so there's 4, and then they bring a new one in. And then he goes to go up there, and they just beat the crap out of him, but he doesn't know why. But they all do. So, and then same thing happens again. They change another one for, say, there's 3 of the original ones that were sprayed, and then 2 that have no idea, but they both join in. Everyone just keeps beating each other up and so on and so forth until the whole lot have changed, and then they're just beating each other up when they go for the banana. and it's just a representation of how easy it is to program, basically. Yeah, I thought it was interesting. It's like the way I was going to use it was like how a lot of these globe people have just been so brainwashed, and when we come along, we just like get attacked because our view is completely wrong to them. You know what I'm getting at? Does that make sense?
I understand the analogy you're drawing, which is perfectly reasonable. My only criticism would be, what validity do you actually lend to that claimed experiment? Given that you presented it with cartoons.
It's not an experiment. I suppose it's
that's
more
not
of
what I
an
mean.
analogy, really.
No. I know I said it's not an experiment, but that's not really what I mean. Even in terms of a study, what validity would you give to it?
Probably not much.
Well, sure. Or any.
I would give it some. The propaganda at the universities with all the young college students and the leftist teaching, and then they all steer towards that way of thinking. And then when they meet up with somebody with different thoughts, it's a hostile environment.
I don't disagree with this. It's not the allegory I disagree with. So that's not what I'm disagreeing with. I'm saying that the original assertion that it's based on some sort of I don't know, case study or test of some description where they're spraying monkeys. If you can find me any example of them actually doing that and demonstrating those results, then I might actually, lend some sort of credibility to the cartoon. But in my experience, although it's not always the same example, it's typically the 100th monkey effect that is basically the same piss in a different bottle, then there's no validity at all to it. It's just made up.
Yeah, I do get that. And yeah, I was just more looking at it as an analogy kind of point of view. Well, not really for us, more for other people looking in, to try and for them to understand. But yeah, I wasn't trying to claim that it was a scientifically proven thing. It's just obviously it was just an animation that I just thought was
sure. No. Once you drew,
cool way of looking at things.
Yeah. Once you drew the comparison, it's like fine. I've got no issue with that. But sometimes that people will cite the 100 monkey effect like it's actually a thing, and it's like, no, if you're going to use it as a vague allegorical example of something, then fine. But actually claiming that that's in any way, shape, or form valid or has happened, then it might have done, but I don't see it. I haven't come across any examples of it actually being a real thing, other than people giving it in the same way you have as an example.
No, I agree 100%.
I actually seen a demonstration of it happening at a clinic where the people there were 5 actors sitting and the one woman came to sit, and every 5 minutes a bell would ring and they'd all stand up, and then it'd sit again and it'd go, and every time someone comes in, after a while all the actors are gone, that woman will still stand up every time the bell rings, and after that all the people that come in would do the same thing.
I saw that.
Again, I would argue that they're all actors, that there is a plot that they need to achieve to make their allegorical example in the TV show, and they're not going to leave it to chance and actually run it for real. They're all actors, and they just give the desired result given in the script.
I've seen an experiment like that where it's like there's one guy that's says he's in a group of 8 people, and none of them are actors, but obviously the other 7 are. And they're looking at a math equation that obviously he's giving the correct answer, but all the other ones are giving a wrong answer knowingly. And then he ends up changing his answer to the wrong answer. Yeah. Because he thinks that he's wrong, because all the actors are saying the wrong answer.
But again, I would argue that even in those examples, which I've seen many of them, that in every single case, it's always actors in every single situation, all of them, not one real member of the public performing in a study. That just is never the case. It's always actors, and the examples that are given typically to back this claim or those claims or these claims are the examples that are given out on TV, and you go, well, that's been filmed by a production company, that's all made up. Anyway, better start a live show.
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!
Welcome to Flat Earth Debate Uncut. No, live. I'm your host, Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this channel, or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you'd like to support this channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they are live. There's also a PayPal, Patreon, and crypto link in the info box below the video. If you'd like to join the community debate, then go to nathanoakley.com and check out the Flat Earth Debate Forum, which I strongly advise you all do. Most importantly, if you'd like to join this discussion, simply mute the page you are currently watching, then click the link in the info box below this video to join the panel and express your views on the shape of the Earth. If you do join, please don't swear. If you do, you'll be ejected, and if you are, please don't try to rejoin the stream using sock accounts. You'll be warmly welcome back on the next stream. Please also share the show on social media. Sharing the show obviously increases the live audience, but this in turn increases the chances of a more diverse panel, so please share the show. And one last time, if you are new to the channel, or you've not done so already, how dare you, then be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. Now we are joined by Flatzoid, Chocolate Sane, 10th Man, Sleeping Warrior, Arwin, and Mind Warped. Very good to have you all.
Good
Good to
afternoon.
be here.
Good morning.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Good morning.
Are we
Good morning.
Are we live?
Yes.
We are, we should be.
I know, I was just joking.
Oh, right, because I said uncut. Yes, my bad. Just one of those things. Any signs of Earth curvature, gentlemen?
None whatsoever.
No.
Not on Earth.
Maybe we all need fish eye lens transplants. That'll help.
Not even in angles.
Any signs of
Wouldn't that
axial
be
rotation?
Not of the Earth-based variety.
Right. Any evidence of the distance to the sun?
No, there's
Definitely
no
not.
confirmed measured distance to the sun.
Nope.
How do they supposed to even work that out? I have no idea about that one.
They presuppose it.
Well, there's a
With
couple of
what?
priests.
How else?
Well, hopefully Anthony's about. He might not be away from his mic. If not, I'll take his thunder. But this is really his baby. Are you there, Anthony?
Is it measured by 2 points somehow, and then they measure between the 2 points and work out distance that way?
I think it
Yeah.
originally started with assuming that Venus was the same size of Earth, and then angular sizes and pathways.
Nah. They assume the Earth's sphere-like, and then they assume Venus is the same size like.
Yes, exactly. But that's what it's originally based on, right? The supposed distance. Or is the distance literally arbitrary? I don't know. What was the original anchor point for that set
No, but the
distance?
angles say
It's
so.
Kepler's third law, combined with an assumption of Venus being the same size as Earth, and an assumption that Earth is a sphere.
Right.
Moving on.
Okay, so
Any evidence that we can have gas pressure without a container?
never.
Nope.
See you, Mind Warps. Thanks for joining. Any evidence of a presupposed spherical Earth with a molten iron core at the centre?
This is a
Nope.
this would make a good candy commercial.
That's Jessica's line, isn't it?
No.
Any evidence the R value, Earth radius?
It's a little bit shy.
Win.
Yeah, I'm not proof of the Earth's radius, thanks.
You're more proof than the globe got.
Last but by no means least, any evidence that you can have gas pressure without the necessary antecedent of a container?
Wait, didn't we already do that?
Yeah, you already did that one.
Oh, really? Well, I've missed
Yeah.
one then. What did I miss out?
Let me see.
Maybe I didn't miss one. That concludes the housekeeping.
Gravity.
Right.
Oh, yeah, that was it. Any scientific evidence of gravity? Right on. Well remembered. I knew I'd miss one.
No. But I'm pretty sure that relative density disequilibrium providing enough maneuverability causes force disequilibrium.
That's beautiful. Thank you. That concludes the housekeeping.
Oh man.
So we've also got a few people in Discord, so hopefully we can just open a few microphones. Hello, everybody in Discord.
Oh yeah, by the way, I kind of concluded that even if there is no maneuverability, relative density still causes a force disequilibrium in the form of pressure. I discussed this with Riley just on my show before this.
Yeah. Relative density disequilibrium is, I think they're not going to be able to ignore it anymore. And we've been talking about it for ages. And somebody's approached me and he said, look, I can help you here. You obviously are struggling with your words kind of thing. You know what you're trying to describe, but there's no science for this because it doesn't actually exist. And I'm like, yeah, that's right. I said, well, I'll help you. He said, if you tell me what you want, he said, I can set up some kind of experiment or test or whatever to try and demonstrate what you're talking about if you tell me what you want. I said, I don't even know what I want. I said, I don't really get the physics enough to be able to understand or articulate what I'm trying to say, but I realized that we can change the density of stuff and we can make movement. And he said, well, how's about I do this, that, and the other, and then see where we go from there? And I was like, yeah, okay. So the last couple of videos on my channel, shout outs to Sean Hufford, who thinks that I've stolen the content. Basically, I'm demonstrating that we can change the medium and force displacement, no gravity required. But ballers immediately invoke gravity. Well, you can't invoke causation in science. You have to demonstrate it by wiggling it. If you invoke cause, then you're working outside a scientific method. I'm working inside scientific method, and unless you can debunk it, it stands. So let's see how you're going to get away from relative density disequilibrium causing a movement, because we can demonstrate and have demonstrated that it is. So it's all good.
Did you want to add something right hand?
No, sorry, I just got a new phone and I was changing the settings to push to talk instead of voice activated, so.
Oh, you sound miles better, and we're not clipping the end of everything you say. Wow, that's definitely progress.
Oh, awesome. That's awesome, man. Yeah, my other phone was just so bad, so I'm glad it.
Oh.
Hello. And I
Hello.
say charge on, Riley. Sounds awesome.
Sorry, was I being spoke to then?
Say again?
Was I being spoke to then?
Don't know. Elijah.
Yeah,
I mean,
can you hear me? I'm
We
in the
hear you.
Discord.
Yeah,
I don't know,
Right.
maybe
Oh,
there's
yeah,
some
no, I was
Google
saying charge
interruption
on.
going
Good
on.
work.
I didn't hear you because Arwin spoke over you.
Oh.
I
The sound
was
just
just
goes
saying good
off.
work, Riley. Because to be honest, I didn't really care one way or another. I was just like gravity, forget it, throw it out the window. But I wasn't really interested in the ins and outs of the relative density argument. But you're doing good by what you're doing by giving us a better way to explain what's going on. That's what you're doing.
Yeah.
You're really driving the conversation.
I'm trying because me and Bob don't agree on this. Bob from Globusters. Bob denies relative density, and I don't mind him disagreeing. I do mind him disagreeing with vitriol because there's no reason to be vitriolic.
Hold on, hold on. Bob doesn't deny relative density. He
Yeah,
just presupposes that gravity basically causes it. That's you have to listen very carefully. He doesn't deny that it is what it is. He just says no, it doesn't explain enough to his satisfactory. That's the thing.
If you look at his most recent video that he uploaded, I'll read his comment verbatim.
Okay.
It says, just bear with me one sec.
One.
Yeah, 1 sec for Riley usually means 2 or 3
Yeah.
minutes.
Please allow 4 minutes of dead air.
Well, I got a good pun
He
off
is
that.
trying to finish up that
Can I have a
breakfast real
question?
quick.
Can somebody post the Hangouts?
Can somebody post the Hangouts what?
The Hangout link?
It's already posted.
Yeah, you're in there. I've posted the link. Public can join.
So let me just read Bob's
Okay,
last
I just
comment on
didn't
his
see it
video.
in the I didn't see it in the description, sorry.
Go, Riley.
Bob's last comment in the description of his last video entitled "Newton's First and Second Laws of Motion" by Julius Sumner Miller. I'm more than familiar with this guy. I like his work, but his comment is: for those physics-challenged individuals who believe that no natural downward acceleration exists and relative density alone explains up and down. Well, he's obviously not fully on board with relative density. He doesn't necessarily accept it. He thinks that the bias is being swayed by an external force.
Does it say that? Because I think that this is your interpretation, because he's basically saying, look, relative density, again, is not enough to explain all the other things about it. That's exactly what I said.
Yeah, but yeah, I agree. It's my interpretation. However, he thinks that people that think that relative density alone explains up and down. Well, I'd like to see him explain my last couple of videos away if he thinks that there's a bias with gravity or some kind of acceleration force or whatever, because that's inferring an extra cause that is outside of scientific method, and it puts him straight into pseudoscience, the very thing that we criticize the ballers for doing.
Yep.
So if you're watching, Bob, I'd like a comment. I'd like to see how you're going to explain away what I'm demonstrating with real world physics, because this is quite important.
Right, but to be fair though, relative density theory alone does not explain basically the very division within the relative density spectrum. Why do the less
But how
dense go
doesn't
in
it?
that one direction and the more dense in the other?
It does. Density
No.
is the division. If there's a difference,
No, it's a description of the process.
Hold on. I've heard you two argue about this about 25 times, so go ahead, right the hand.
I was just going to say, density does. Riley's right. So it's the division. If you think of every object as kind of the same object, but just a harder point of it, that's where it is. So you have one medium, right? You have air. Now, you cannot have up and down until you get a reference frame, and that's what density is. Density is nothing but the reference frame between the medium and the object.
well,
I
relative
know.
density is.
I know, and it works perfectly.
Shout out
Yeah,
to
so
Earth
there
is
are
Seriously
no.
Flat for
That's
hitting
it.
the super
I
chat.
feel like
Thank
you
you
have
very
a
much
medium.
indeed.
Is in the way it is. That's the point. But it's not needed for scientific proof. That is basically the anchor point.
Oh, and are you not dismissing the actual density attributes of what we're seeing in the medium? It's the density attribute that is the separation between the different densities. You can't have two densities occupying the one space.
It doesn't explain why it is the way it is, though.
Yeah, it does.
No, it doesn't. It just describes how it works.
Can I
No, it
add
it
to
explains
this?
the mechanism behind it working. You have the.
No, it explains exactly how it works. Doesn't explain why the spectrum is the way it is. Why are the dense in one direction and the less dense in the other? And yeah, relatively speaking, of course, that's completely irrelevant. But there is a distinct division in this realm, and kind of curious as to why. But I'm not gonna basically demand
Do
gravity.
You
you
mean
think
up and
we're ever
down?
going to get the answer to that, Owen? I mean, isn't that kind of like asking why
But
does the
there is
sun
no
do what it's going to do?
there's no current outlook for actual finding of that. No, but
Yeah, so,
it's
I
still a
mean,
question, and I'm not gonna let that
of course,
question
it's always going to be
force
a
me
question,
to
but
accept gravity just because gravity has a unprovable explanation for it.
Hey,
Are you
Arwen.
asking why things go up and down?
Why the relative density spectrum is divided the way it is.
Yeah.
So
Why things go
why
up and
things
down?
have different
basically.
densities?
No, that's not what he's asking. Arwen's saying, why is the density spectrum split up in the way that it is? That's his very specific question.
Because it's density actually is pressure. So when you think of the pressure is just going to align itself based in a gradient. You know what I mean? Like it will, if you have two pressures, right, that cannot equalize because of the state of matter that they're in, their equilibrium will be oil sitting on top of water. So when you get a whole bunch of different pressures that will not equalize because of their states of matter, you get a density tower.
Right, I'm sorry to do this to you. Earth is seriously flat wrote, there's only actonauts on our fake space program. So Dal West Watson has been criticising me for not actually reading out the super chats, which is true. So there's also another super chat from Earth is seriously flat. Farts under pressure without a butt. Globos logic. Yeah, I'm so glad I read that. Thank you very much indeed for the super chat. Earth is seriously flat. Your timing could not be better. Sorry about that. Right the hand. Oh, got John. Didn't have Skype on mute. My bad to the audience. Sorry. It's been one of those days. Hey, John.
What's up, man? That caused a problem.
No. I normally have the Skype line muted, so that doesn't happen. But it's not your fault.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did. You always cause a problem. Yeah, you did.
What's up, John?
What's up, gentlemen? I heard a subject that I dealt with about 2 weeks ago in Skype, and I put it in Master Bees and a number of different threads, and you guys are just wasting your time talking about the same thing. Do you guys read posts? Let me ask this: when you read something, do you assimilate it if it makes sense and disregard it if it doesn't make sense, or you just read something and it just goes in one eye and out the other?
Yeah, but John, you have to
It
understand.
depends on basically the energy of it. If it's very tough to get through and extremely long, then no, I tend to not read it, especially if it's not directly addressed at me. So,
John, the other thing is you're preaching to the converted. We're preaching to the people that are on the fence. So there is a purpose.
All right, can I give you an answer, John? Yes, I do read your posts. Often I don't fully understand them and ask you to repeat what you say.
Yeah. So we went through a long. I just jotted some thoughts down, and I finally came to the question, and Arwen stated it. Surprisingly. So the question is, why is the more dense medium atmosphere next to the Earth's surface? That's the question. Unfortunately,
no, that's not my
that
question.
answer's forever illusory. It's like a
Hang on,
law.
John.
It's like asking, why does entropy always increase in nature?
Yeah, man, I'm with you.
That's not my question at all.
It may not be your question, but it's very pertinent, which is something that I've been struggling with for ages, which is to say that what we're trying to describe should have a really succinct explanation as a law.
Right.
But it doesn't. What it's got is a hijacking of force disequilibrium and an attributable downward force at 9.8 meters per second squared. That's what we actually have very thoroughly documented, as opposed to this, what could be described as a law of nature. In other words, trying to establish the cause of this seems futile to me.
It's nonsensical.
As long as we can't vary it.
The question's malformed. So it's law-like. It just is, and it's a what or an is. That's it. Move on to the next topic.
Look, the mystery of the spectrum division is just a mystery. It's not going to make me presuppose gravity, just saying.
What the hell is a spectrum division?
The relative density spectrum. How it is divided.
It's not called a spectrum. Be careful the words you use, because it confuses people.
Oh, really? So it's not a spectrum from light.
Yeah, it's not a spectrum. Go find me a density spectrum.
To heavy.
Go find me a density spectrum, and I'll stand corrected.
Hold on, what's wrong with the word spectrum? Because I understand immediately what he means by it. So what's wrong with it?
Yeah, it's clumsy.
Oh, really? What would you call it then?
Density gradient. Hey, Anthony, I
Ar-
love hearing your fingers tap on those keys, man. It's absolutely perfect. Can you do it louder?
Is it the sound of you sharing the show again?
No chance.
Arvin, on the density question, why is a feather lighter than 3-ounce weight?
Sorry?
Don't try another analogy. Just let this go.
No,
I know you
want
won't. Go ahead.
Arvin, why is a feather lighter than a 3-ounce weight?
It all depends on the weight of the feather. You haven't mentioned it, so I can determine if it is light.
I gave you an assumption that it is lighter. I stated it was lighter than the 3-ounce weight, and I'm asking you why.
Because it has less mass?
Because
I'd say it doesn't
it's
matter.
what John
Define
said.
mass.
It's a what is. It's a what is. It just is.
Oh, so it's not because it has less mass.
What's
You can
define
go
mass?
into the atomic nature
Hey,
of
Ken, hold on a second. Define mass.
So was it a philosophical question or a technical question?
Define mass. You use the term. Define it. See what I mean?
Right. It is the
But what does he mean when he
aspect
says
of
lighter?
relative density that opposes the volume.
Can you repeat that, please, Arwen?
It is an aspect of the relative density that opposes the volume of
the
it.
circle you just made is what I wanted to achieve by that question, meaning it's more dense. That's why it's heavier. It's density.
But hold on, where's right the hand?
But the more dense doesn't say anything about why it would have more weight, because that's also dependent on the volume.
Isn't that summarised by the amount of pressure? This is where right the hand comes in, hopefully, if it's not disappeared.
Yeah, because weight is pressure. So when you talk weight, whenever you say lighter, you have to define what do you mean by lighter? You mean that it has less weight, or is it less dense? Like what is that term? So when you say lighter, you're talking about scale pressure.
That's why I said mass.
And that's why I asked you to define it.
Because that's not applied mass, basically.
Are you going to define this
Or
thing, or are you just going to
I did.
graveyard?
It is the aspect of relative density that opposes the volume of it.
What? Density, volume is part of density.
I know. And mass is the other part.
You haven't even defined it.
Round we go.
I was going to say, we're going round in circles now. You're using mass in the definition of mass.
He's just making it up. That's not the definition of mass. I need a citation for that.
Oh, well, sorry. I'm not here to provide you with that.
Okay. Then don't claim it.
It's Tim Osman.
No, but I don't understand why this is even... Why you're doing this? Doesn't make any sense to me.
Well, listen, I can't hold other people's toes to the fire and let you go. I wouldn't do that.
So where did I claim science? Where did I claim science for you to have this right to?
I didn't say you claim science. That's a freaking red herring fallacy.
So
You claim mass.
What are you doing then?
You claim mass.
Oh, really? So I can't use the word mass?
Not if you don't know what it is.
What's the method where is it Socratic? Is that the method that we're applying here?
Exactly.
You know what the Socratic method is, Arwen?
Not by heart. No.
Well, it's reaching terms, agreeing upon what you are actually talking about.
Right. So I already told you how I basically consider mass.
No, agreeing.
The thing that
terms.
opposes volume.
Sure, but if one
and
person's
you can
just got their
derive
own...
it through weight as well, but then it's more complex.
More of an opinion.
Okay, I'm gonna attempt to read out Earth is Seriously Flat's message. Plum Bob suggest concave, but why? No! North to south flights, question mark. Is D curvature formula should be -8 inches per mile square. Let's unite against D spinners. Thank you for the super chat. Really appreciate your support. Earth is seriously flat.
Okay.
Can I read something on the Socratic method?
Go ahead.
The Socratic method of discerning truth is to ask provocative questions. Assumptions are challenged as each question probes deeper into the matter of hand. Socrates was convinced that to gain knowledge, one must first admit one's ignorance. This admission is the beginning of knowledge, but by no means the goal or end of knowledge. It is necessary condition for learning.
Okay.
That's not all of it.
Oh, there's a lot more, but I can't take up the whole.
A big part of it, the second part of it, it should be the first part of it, is rigorous defining of words.
Yeah, they break it down to very discrete ideas.
In fact, it's a method of teaching or discussion like that used by Socrates, in which by means of a series of questions and answers, the logical soundness of a definition is tested, to be precise.
So yeah, coming to an agreement on terms, basically.
Yeah, so you can communicate. So one person's not talking about apples and the other one's thinking that the apples are amoebas, because then you can't communicate. Then nothing could be settled.
So let's try it out. What is mass?
Just common sense.
But this is why the Socratic, this started off with a red herring fallacy from Arwin saying, I haven't invoked science. It's like, well, that's not what's being applied. We're just trying to agree on words and their meanings, semantics, if you will. But that...
Yeah, and I gave you an explanation, and it's not good enough.
See,
like
there you go. Hold on.
I have to point at an independent variable. I'm talking conceptual. Why can't I just say, yeah, mass? I derive it from relative density by the factor. It is the factor that opposes the volume, or I could derive it from weight. So what's the problem here?
Because if
are you going to have
everybody...
to tell me what Socrates is all about? I find this kind of annoying.
So the problem is that if I have a meaning that I just derive of my own volition, and you have a meaning that you derive from your volition, and we start a conversation, we will be at permanent cross purposes when we discuss specifics about the thing we have both drawn our own conclusion to. So the point is to agree upon terms, i.e. rigorously define each word and its meaning.
Okay.
That's it. You're a great example.
Is my what I did with mass, is it wrong? That wrong? Did I say it wrong?
I don't think he was disagreeing with you. Like,
okay, then fine.
I think, yeah, just take a chill pill. He wasn't attacking you.
Well, I am, because he hasn't given us a definition of mass. He's just made one up. So that's not, the application of the Socratic method would be to agree upon terms, which is what I first said. In other words, if one person's just made up a meaning of something, then you're never going to agree on that.
Can I lighten the subject for a second?
No.
Yes.
Go ahead, 10th man.
Okay, there's no denying relative density. Every Thanksgiving and Christmas dinner, we experience relative density.
That's great. That's profound.
Well, we do. Every time I get together with my relatives, I find out how dense they are.
It's not Christmas or Thanksgiving, so the gag didn't go over. Got to be Christmas to make that joke.
There's relative density.
No one's thinking about how fat they are from Christmas in June.
I'm talking about the conversation across the table.
Okay, right.
You're digging yourself deeper and deeper.
Okay, Earth is seriously flat says, the important thing about mass is mass globortions. Thank you very much for the super chat. Earth is seriously flat.
Okay, well, usually when someone tries to describe mass, they're describing a mole or inertia. So when Arwen describes what mass is, what would you classify that as?
Making shit up.
Oh, thanks. Thanks.
Nothing personal, are we?
Oh yeah, sure, it's not.
But you normally will admit to it, Arwen.
Nothing
Why in this
personal
instance?
with you, right?
But you earlier you admitted it. You put the disclaimer in that I have described it as, and I am, you know, etc., etc. In other words, you're quite overt about the fact that you've just made it up, right?
What are you talking about?
It's not. It's actually, in a way, a compliment. Most people who just make shit up don't disclose at the beginning. This is just my conceptual idea of what it is. Typically, you will. You'll say, "I'm not giving you scientific evidence or whatever." In this case, an adherence to the Socratic method. You're saying, "This is just my take on it." But at least you disclose it. It's kind of a compliment, because very quickly afterwards we can say, "Well, yeah, but that's just your idea of what it is."
Right.
Fair enough.
If I need to get really no, okay, I appreciate it. And when I really need to get serious for something, I will dig into the origins of it and get it all technically right and everything. So, but I'm just discussing it. That's all.
Or just making shit up.
Just discussing it. You don't have to be a dick about everything I say.
I do, because we're now
No,
in
you
an arena.
don't.
Well, I'm not trying to be a dick. I am being a dick in the respect that you're being used as the example, and it's good because you're conciliatory in this regard for the reasons I've just given. You will admit it openly immediately, which is excellent to make this example because you're not being a dick about it and almost allowing me to make the example with you, which is fantastic. Right. Which is to say that when you've got a definition of something, if you can't agree on a definition because there's more than one, then it's an equivocation fallacy. In this instance, we're not talking about equivocation or scientific evidence. We're talking about the Socratic method and just agreeing on terms. And in this instance, you openly declare this is your definition, which is fine. And in most instances, we either don't get a definition, we get two different definitions for the same thing. You know, it's a very different scenario.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Okay.
In other words, stop making shit up.
No.
Dan Riley's
the whole problem here is not people making shit up. The problem is people misconstruing made up shit for reality and science. It's the cognitive dissonance between all the fields. There's nothing wrong with speculation as long as it's clearly speculation.
Agreed. It's when it's declared as fact, having come to an extrapolation based on an assumption with some probability thrown in, and then it's declared to children as fact, that's an outrage. Speculating and saying, it could be this, I'm just spitballing, as Anthony puts it, perfectly acceptable.
Yeah, I totally agree. Shout out to Nora, no one's flower.
Why? I like Nora, but here we go. So, shout out to Earth is Seriously Flat. Evidence of flat Earth under your feet. Flat Earth defends itself. Well, yeah, I'd agree with that. The Earth is obviously and observably flat, whether you like it or not. Shout out for the super chat. Thank you very much indeed. Earth is seriously flat.
Shout out to Nora Retracted.
Yeah.
Hold on. Why? What's wrong with Nora?
Well, because the point you were just making is that if you're spitballing, that's fine. If it's clear that you're just like fantasizing over ideas, you're not pushing them as truth. Nora's the opposite. Nora has her own interpretation of what she considers to be gravity, and she redefines it by calling it something else. And it's based on philosophical approaches from Aristotle that she learned about earlier in her adulthood. But the problem is she pushes these things, her own views, her own perceptions as fact. She doesn't tell people that she's spitballing with ideas. She tells people that this thing is true, without any evidence whatsoever. Now, it may be the case that she may actually be right, but without any evidence at all, you should disclaim yourself from that by saying, I'm just passing my own ideas here. I'm not pushing this as truth. But she does push it as truth, and that's why I shouted her out.
Well, I just knocked her down on Master B's, and then I just popped in Master B's just today, and she gave me a long dissertation just nonsensical. It's just to be a case of I say and you say. No, love, it's not. I can support what I say and you can't.
Yeah.
That's the big difference in that one. What else did
I
she
agree.
say here?
That's
Hold
the
on a second. Let me just thumb through this.
You're both too stubborn for your own good.
It takes
hold
a
on.
wide
No.
consensus.
Hold on. I can't let that slide before John starts. This isn't an agree.
It's true, though.
I know
It's
the
not
background to this, Arwin. I know this is not an agree-disagree situation we're talking about here.
I didn't claim that.
Well, you're saying you're too
still
stubborn.
Both are too stubborn for their own good.
But that
It's
would
not
mean
stubborn.
that
It's taking a position based on evidence rather than taking a position based on philosophical
Hey,
approaches.
get her in here.
I'm not disclaiming that.
Get her in here. Get her. I'm tired of her little typing, little keyboard warrior stuff. Get in here, Nora.
love is teaching children how to test the globe. Shout out to Earth is Seriously Flat for hitting the super chat.
Let's just go over some of the statements she made. Natural science is also a collection of knowledge got by a collection of study. Wrong. Systematic experimentation, baby. Number 2, scientific method experiments are a subset. Number 1, scientific method experiments is painfully redundant, and there is no subset. It's the whole point. Oh, she does it again. Scientific method experiments. That's like dark nights, chromatic rainbows.
Right, shout out to Leonardo Gonzalez, who says, continue your good work, Nathan. Thank you very much indeed for the super chat.
To have an acceleration, you have a force. Come on and show us. We need to see it. Let's see the equation. We need you to show us this. Somewhat allergic to. Oh, she's pushing legitimate uses of inferences. Love, inference has nothing to do with science. Go to storytelling. I'm not done yet. Hold on a second. Oh, she's asking why we are fixated on what George Mooser said. Gravity is not a force, but you can think of it as a force. She doesn't think that we should fixate on this. In fact, she says it makes... Hold on a second. What he said in the video could be perfectly normal to say. That's what she said. George Mooser.
What?
Yep, I got it right here. Go to Master B's.
This is why I say that Nora is a disinformation agent, because she's deliberately pushing against the reality of what is the narrative, the official narrative of science. She's pushing against that for her own personal views and beliefs on what she calls is gravity. And if you don't like being called that, or you think that I shouldn't call people that, then there's a bit of a problem within Flat Earth, because this lady is not presenting evidence-based opinion. She's presenting speculative interpretations based on philosophical approaches from a bloke called Aristotle that she studied as a kid. That's got no evidential value whatsoever, and it should not be pushed as truth. That's my problem.
I don't know. She's not getting this from Aristotle. Here's another one. That this acceleration's concomitant force. Now we got a concomitant force.
I don't know what that means.
Does not.
What's that word mean? New word. Concomitant. That's a nice word.
Yeah, look it up. Concomitant.
Concompetent. Okay.
This acceleration's concomitant force does not seem obvious to some because it is action at a distance. Really. And then said you can think of it as a force in order to explain it to people confused by the action at a distance. Yeah, we're real confused. Aspect of the then it would be perfectly understandable in a normal way of explaining something to students. So she thinks that's normal, what George Mooser said. Hey, Nora, just come on in here. We'll toe tag your dumb ass in less than 5 seconds, and then you can leave.
And do you know what? I will echo John's words. I'm tired of seeing her spewing her nonsense, and I'm tired of the support that Bob from Globebusters gives her when it's vomit. It's not acceptable. It's pure vomit.
Yeah, they're following that tattooed Uncle Fester, Ken Wheeler. All of them. Right? This guy tried to disprove the double slit experiment by showing single slit diffraction. This is tantamount. Watch this. to disputing liquid water by showing an ice cube.
How can you
That's how
establish
fucking stupid that is.
How can you establish a which path with one slit?
No, Ken Wheeler, he didn't know that interference and diffraction are more or less the same thing. So the dumbass monkey went ahead and did this. So it's about 2 years ago, but everyone started following this, right? All these guys are just Ken Wheeler Ken Wheeler Electric Universe junkies. That's all they are.
So concomitant, adjective, naturally accompanying or associated, noun, a phenomena that naturally accompanies or follows something. Good word.
Yeah, a force that follows a force.
I see. So concomitant would mean it's the perfect word for Moose's quote.
Cool.
The implication being that what's the opposite of concomitant then? Because what he's done is he's suggesting that a phenomena of a force naturally follows a non-force, which is gibberish. It's not it's the opposite of concomitant, right?
Concomitant.
It's incompetent.
Concomitant, incompetent too.
Concomitant.
Concomitant.
Concomitant. I'll get there.
Go ahead and look at the word. See how it's spelled.
I like new words. Just leave me alone. If I've appeared dumb to the audience, I don't care.
It's not dumb. It's just a new word.
So that's Nora for the new word. Sorry, Anthony, go ahead.
When we're spitballing and we're just like passing ideas around, we should make it really clear that these are just our own personal opinions and they're not meant to be treated as fact. You shouldn't preach it unless you've got evidence to support your position. Even if it's weak evidence, at least have something to support your position so that we can have a discussion about the evidence that is presented rather than just ideas. Ideas are what gets us in this trouble in the first place, like gravity, for instance.
Okay. She also says that takes a wide consensus. Scientific method really is just one aspect of natural science. Really? I'd like to hear what the other aspects are. Otherwise, science as a term would not be. It would not exist.
No, really?
We would only have the scientific method. It is called a method which is scientific because it is a method which is a part of and pertains to the activity of science. Do you know what circular reasoning is, love? You need a crash course. I don't think Aristotle did too much circular reasoning. I mean, this little spill you got here is a frigging joke.
So shout out to Marcus K. Tattooed Uncle Fester, rolling around laughing. John and Nathan are not harsh on globers. Their method is necessary, Anthony. Talking to you, Anthony. Shout out to Marcus K for the super chat. Thank you very much for your support.
Yeah,
I agree, Marcus. I don't think that you guys are harsh on globers. I think that sometimes we can get carried away with the moments, but the point is essentially the same. You're presenting bullshit and you're passing it off as science, and we realise where the line in the sand is drawn. I agree with Marcus.
Nora, get your ass in here.
She won't. She won't do it because she won't stand. She won't be challenged by her own nonsense, but people believe it because she words it in a verbiage that sounds credible, and then miss the fact that there's zero evidence to support it, regardless of how the verbiage sounds. It's bullshit.
People believe it? Who believes what she just wrote?
Matt Doxey is one.
What she's basically doing is exactly the same method as what the globers are doing. She's making it about the word and the influence, rather than the actual arguments. And in that sense, it's literally pseudoscience in the same methodology, even, but on different fields.
I agree.
Okay, I'm going to shout out Shannon White 1980. Wouldn't the dynamic, perpetual and hot nature of our sun naturally satisfy the gas in our enclosed system? Full stop. Given the heat source is from above, it naturally stratifies with most dense at the bottom. Okay. Shout out to Shannon White for the super chat. Thank you very much indeed.
No. Oh, okay, back to the topic. Arwen and Anthony. I got in late last night and I was watching a little bit of something when somebody bust out the evolutionary last port in a storm. Berkeley to prove that man-made objects can be science, right? It was the Zender retard. So what you do when knuckleheads get citations from morons, what you do is you ask them for an example. So give me the natural phenomena, then put it into a hypothesis, right? That because remember, a citation is merely, I don't care who says it, a baseless assertion fallacy. That's where the argument begins. The next step is that citation must be supported. Since Zender Clown Show provided that citation, guess what? He's responsible now to support it. So, okay, give us the natural phenomena observed. One of the examples in the Beavis and Butthead Berkeley sideshow is artificial sweeteners, right? So your natural phenomena observed is artificial sweeteners, okay? That's your effect, the dependent variable. What's the independent variable? What causes artificial sweeteners?
Man made them. I don't understand how that's a phenomena.
Exactly. So instead of getting sidetracked, so many people they put out topics. It's like a trout looking, or a male trout looking for a female trout, getting ready to shag the female trout. But then they see this silver little shining light over in the corner of their eye, and they take off right to it. And then instead of shagging, you get a treble hook or a mouthful of treble hook, right? So try to stay on topic. I know it's difficult.
Sorry, but yeah, I am not. I'm gonna do whatever I want. Okay. And
Yeah,
when
you
I'm
make a
here and
horse's
when
ass
you're
out of
here,
yourself,
I will
too.
definitely abide by your system. But I
It's not
just
a
like
system.
to wander off and basically falsely allow science to be claimed on my own terms, just to
Huh?
get information within the speculation, and that's just what I like to do. And it might not suffice to your standards, but
That's
that's
right.
not
It
my
doesn't.
problem.
It
Yeah,
does.
that's
Yeah,
not my
it's not your
problem.
problem. See, you're the problem with flat Earth.
No, that's not. No, I just
Yeah, you
like
are
to
not
talk
you.
to people
Not
and
you,
just figure
Holy.
things out.
Not you, Holy. That's okay. It'll be okay, Arwen. Not you alone. It's the whole problem with the flat Earth, because we have to fight against your horse shit,
Oh,
right?
you don't?
Because somebody's going to come up to me and say, "Well, Arwen said this, so I got to spend 10 minutes debunking your horse shit."
Let's not use Arwen as an example. Let's use the ice wall or something similar.
It's not only him. You got pretender clowns everywhere. Pretender clowns to the left. Pretender clowns to the right.
Hold on. Let's get back on track. Right. The whole point of this was to talk about how a citation is being given from a crap source and how you would pull it apart by asking for an example and then putting it through the actual method. Now, off the back of that, I want to kind of expand on using hostile sources, because there's some confusion on both sides about what actually occurs when we, for example, cite someone like Neil deGrasse Tyson. Now, this doesn't automatically mean that we are taking the position of the cited source when we are qualifying the rhetoric from our opponent's side. In other words, this is the established rhetoric. It doesn't mean we agree with the rhetoric. It means that we are using it in a hostile manner to demonstrate their position so that we can take apart their position. Because often, the position that they actually hold, the rhetoric that is claimed, for example, gravity is not a force, will be denied by the people who come into the debate arena. In other words, you have to first clarify what their position actually is, because you know it better than they do.
Yeah, it's a preposterous claim. It's the Jose holding it close to your heart reference. Friggin' moron. These people, like I said, there's a question if they graduated junior high school, not even high school. University is definitely light years away from these idiots. They'd be
Rumpus and Chad is
laughed.
claiming
I would
gravity
like
is a
to
force
hear their
again.
claim at university. They'd just get laughed off campus.
I'd like to do a quick mention. So, in the chat, we've got Rumpus who says, quote, "Gravity is a force."
Oh, wait a second. Hold on a second. Before we listen,
the
wait a
opposite,
second.
not
Wait a
even
second.
month
Hold on a
ago.
second. before we listen to any Rumpus's claims, he has to provide a presentation on how air is not the atmosphere. Please, we need to see that. Go ahead and join Discord. We need to hear that, Rumpus.
So I just wanted to do a quick plug to one of my own videos that I cut out at your request, actually, John. So gravity is not a force, and there's a link in the the chat feed right now, so you can go and check out that video with citations from people like George Musa and Dr. Brian Cox. And
did he say gravity is a force?
He did.
Yeah.
What?
And he just said
play,
air is not the same as the atmosphere.
I'm sorry. Just play the video. Or play that chunk.
Okay, give me a moment to dig it out.
Yeah. It's right in Skype. You sent it to me.
Well, I've just stuck a link in my own chat feed so I could see if it actually functions. Ah, damn it.
If you manage
ruined
a team,
my chat.
You should be using Monday.com.
It ruined my chat.
It's a platform to manage.
Never mind.
Nathan,
I'll figure it out. Give me a few moments.
Do you know what, Nathan? It would be actually worth putting a scene on your stream deck that is just Musa saying gravity is not a force, but you can think of it as a force and have it so
right.
anytime anyone says it, you can just press the button and it immediately flicks onto him.
That's all right. We got more than Mooser.
Just going to do a quick shout out to Retro Bill. QE knocking them dead lately. Indeed, he is. Thank you very much indeed for the super chat, Retro Bill. Really appreciate your support.
I got a new one for the Rumpus. So if he claims it's a force, maybe you should consider gravity is a force, but you can't think of it as a force.
I think people need to realize that the Rumpus is total disinformation on their side. He's literally deceiving his own people, his friends, his people that believe that we live on a sphere. He's deceiving them with bullshit that's got no evidence to support it, but he believes it and he presents it in a way like Nora does that sounds credible. But really, he's
credible? It sounds like he should be institutionalized. Go back 3.5 years to where I drug him and Paper Explanator around by their short hairs. Let's just pound this in for you, okay? From Caltech, Einstein came up with the theory of general relativity in 1915, the prototype of all modern gravitational theories. Its crucial ingredient, involving a colossal intellectual jump, is the concept of gravitation not as a force, but as a manifestation of the curvature of space-time. Brian Cox, there isn't really a force of gravity at all. George Muser, 2019, see Fat to Fat Earth, gravity is not a force, but you can think of it as a force. Even the Alma Mater Wiki, gravity is most accurately described by the general theory of relativity proposed by Albert Einstein in 1915, which describes gravity not as a force. And by the way, real scientific theories don't describe, they explain. From the universe today, in general relativity, gravity is not a force between masses. From the University of California, strictly speaking, gravity is not a force. From physics.org, according to this theory, gravity is not a force. From New Scientist, so although the Earth appears to be pulled towards the sun by gravity, there is no such force. From Physics Libra Text, the answer is that gravitation is what? Not a force between two objects. From the Physics Hypertext book, gravity isn't a force. Do you get this?
Well, you're saying gravity is not a force?
Unbelievable. So anytime anyone says gravity is a force, you just play that. Not a problem.
Link in the chat feed.
And then we just toe tag them from right there. Just toe tag them.
Yeah, so there's only going to be one live show today, so I've got about a couple of minutes left if anybody wants to make me. There's only going to be one show. There will be an after show. Just behind on loads of stuff, that's all. So
The other thing is as well, we need to not let us not forget that Craig Fight the Flat Earth is the reason why this thing happened. We need to get him to come on the record officially and admit that gravity is not a force. Literally admit it. Just say it's not a force. You're wrong, Craig.
I don't know if this is a new record. Just hit 300 live viewers. I don't know if that's a first, but that's a hell of a lot of people watching.
Hey, that's right. You should just do only one show. Oh God. What a jip.
301.
I feel a little jip too.
I know.
John,
I rushed through all my work yesterday.
They're going to say it's not a force, of course, but what will they say? I mean, why will Rumpus and Fight the Flat Earth still go along with the force? I know it's a pseudo force, but I want to know what their understanding of this. I know we know it's not a force, but they will say, "What is a force? You just don't understand." What do you think they will say we don't understand?
Because they're retarded. That's why. And they got clinical level Dunning-Kruger. That's why.
They'll say it causes a force.
Which is funny because I thought it was the force, but okay.
Yeah, and then if you,
I guess the story's
force
just
is
gotta
weight.
change.
It's only one show today, but you can think of it as two.
Well, there will be an after show, so if you're watching this on the premiering stream on Nathan Oakley, stay tuned.
What a jip.
And we've got Brenda here. I mean, I don't know if Brenda's just wants to argue for arguing, but Brenda, is gravity a force in your world, or has have
DNA
we shown
is
you
made
now
of amino acids, Brenda.
Right? You know, when flat earthers, when we say things like this, I think it's good to hear from the other side to see what they've made of what
The other side, you think it's good to hear from retards?
Spurs, we asked her this either yesterday or the day before, and she still thinks that gravity is a force, even though that everybody tells her it's not a force. She still pushes that it is.
So I'd like to know based on what?
Because it's a force. That's what he'll say. He doesn't.
Based on the aberration.
Answer.
That's what.
Oh, you're muted, Brenda. Sorry. Oh, there you go. There you go, Brenda. You're unmuted now.
Hey, Spurs
yeah, so just be nice to hear from the Born
Hashtag
Earthers.
hug a baller.
Hashtag hug a baller.
What did you want to know?
Hold on. I'm just going to ask another question from the super chat. So shout out to Shannon White again for double hitting the super chat. Sorry, I meant stratification, the temperature-driven process that creates the density layer we have around us. Think about it. Thank you for the super chat, Shannon. Really appreciate your support.
Hashtag hug a baller.
And with that, I will say once more, if you are watching this on the Nathan Oakley premiering stream, then stay tuned, as there will be an after show to follow. However, if you're watching this live on the Nathan Oakley 1980 stream, then unfortunately, this is where we bid you farewell. A huge, massive, enormous thank you to all of you tuned in, smashed the super chat, liked, commented, shared, subscribed, and all that good stuff. If you need to keep yourself occupied after the live stream is over, then go to nathanoakley.com and check out the Flat Earth Debate Forum, which I strongly advise you all join. I've been Nathan Oakley, and I'll see you all in the next video. Stay tuned if you're watching on Nathan Oakley premiering stream.
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!
So how? I mean, do you agree now? Have you come around, or do you find
No?
No,
the whole problem is that you didn't understand. You didn't understand what Musser said. You can't understand the simplest explanations, right?
What part of gravity is not a force that we not
problem,
understand, Brenda?
is you're incapable of understanding basic explanations.
Okay, so
Basic
what kind
English,
of force
like gravity
is
is not a force? How did we misunderstand that? Please enlighten
Because
all
you
of us.
take it out of because you take it out of context. When you take things out of context, you miss the surrounding
Oh, really? So what is the
context that explains how the phenomenon is being explained to you.
So,
Well, please enlighten us, Brenda, with the context.
What's the phenomena?
Please.
Hold on. What's the phenomena?
Gravity.
So gravity is the
That clears it right up. Brenda. Thanks.
Hold on. Hold on. That's the effect.
No, gravity is not the effect.
Well, that's what a phenomena is.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. You're an idiot.
A phenomenon is an observation.
No, that's not a phenomena. So if I look at a shoe, hold on, Brenda, if I look at a shoe, you think that's a phenomena?
Yes.
Only
No,
if
it's
it's on
not.
a box.
You're an idiot. You are mentally retarded if you think a shoe is a
No,
phenomena.
I'm not. Well,
Yes, you are.
you say these things doesn't make them
Okay.
true.
What makes a phenomena?
Is simply an
Okay.
observation. That's all it is.
It's not. You're wrong. What makes a phenomena is something happening. It's an effect.
Bingo.
An effect you're trying to figure out the cause of. So shoe is not an effect. You're a moron.
No, phenomenons aren't effects.
Yes, they are.
They're phenomenons.
Yeah. You're an
So if I see a
idiot.
tree-
You're
if I
a
see a
moron.
tree-
Why are we even talking to you? You're an idiot.
No.
Brendan,
if we
why
see
did
a
he
tree,
resort
that's
to the word
phenomenon.
magic and magical if it's a fact?
You're talking to somebody that once
If
said
we see-
that
No,
DNA
see, this
is made
is-
of amino acids. So
You don't listen, and you
well, I
don't-
don't know
you
what
don't
you're
engage.
expecting here.
She also once said, just looking at something, you're performing science.
Yeah,
No,
right.
that's not what I said at all.
Yes,
Yeah,
she
so
did,
what's the
Brenda.
first?
Here
what's
comes the barrage of
what's the
nuh-ahs.
first step?
She also
Nuh-uh.
said, yeah, she's also said that looking at something is a phenomena.
What's the first step of science, Nathan?
Observe a phenomena.
What's the first step?
I just said it. Observe a phenomena.
Observe a natural phenomena.
Yeah. Did
Correct.
you not hear me? What's the second step, Brenda? Well, you could have two answers in this regard, I suppose.
Right.
Step 2, please.
We observe a phenomenon.
Yeah, we've done that. Now we're on to step 2. You asked me what was step 1. I told you. Now you're repeating it. What's step 2?
We form a hypothesis. We form a hypothesis, and then you
Okay.
test it.
And what's a hypothesis consist of?
A hypothesis would be there is a force acting
That's
on
not
objects.
no. Don't give me a random hypothesis based on your religion belief. What is a hypothesis, and what does it comprise of?
A hypothesis is the presumed explanation for the observations that we've made.
Not for an observation. I need give no explanation for shoe. It's the explanation, the supposition of a cause for a phenomena that you observed in nature. So it's a suppositional proposition that you will go forth and do step 3, experimentation.
The hypothesis.
So make the
is the
hypothesis for the
explanation.
shoe.
Right.
Go on then. Yeah, let's hear your hypothesis for shoe. Let's science the shit out of it, Brenda. Go.
You're just asking random things.
You said a shoe is a phenomena. Now let's do science, bonehead.
The hypothesis is a presumed explanation.
Yeah, so go on. Let's have your hypothesis for shoe. The phenomena you've observed,
the hypothesis
bonehead.
for the shoe
If
is
you don't
that
realise how
this is a shoe
retarded you
before
seem,
me.
carry on giving us your hypothesis for shoe. You absolute bonehead.
Yeah, the hypothesis for the shoe is that this is a shoe.
It's not a hypothesis.
Yeah, it is.
Brenda,
You're a
this is
retard.
why we love when you come back.
Brenda, how do you?
This feels like
You
we're
gotta
like
teach-
a
oh
bunch of
my
guys
God,
in their
you gotta
20s
put that
trying to
2019,
explain
Brenda.
science to a 5-year-old.
How do you test if a shoe is a shoe? How would you run that?
Yeah, that's right. What are we going to do in the experiment based on your hypothesis then, Brenda? What's the experiment going to comprise of?
Well, you would pick it up, turn it over in your hand, and then you discover, oh, it's not a
And
shoe.
put it in your
It's
mouth.
It's made out of paper mache.
It's
It's,
a
not really a
flip-flop.
shoe. It's not a
It's
shoe.
a flip-flop.
It's made out of paper mache.
Oh boy.
That doesn't explain the
I-
cause of shoe. You haven't explained the cause, so you failed in your hypothesis-driven experimentation because you didn't
that's
establish
not
the
true.
cause.
Oh,
I
Sorry,
picked it up,
Brenda.
turned it over in my hand, and it turned out to be not a shoe.
Be a
because
shoe.
It's paper mache.
So your independent
It looks like
variable.
a shoe.
So your
It looked
independent
like a
variable.
shoe.
So your independent variable to figure out the cause of shoe was turning it over in your hand, and did that give you the cause of shoe?
Yeah, you don't understand how science works.
Yeah,
Can't you make
yeah.
shoes
That's
out
a
of paper
really
mache?
good rebuttal, Brenda. Given that you've just given shoe as a phenomena, dependent variable, and turning
that was your
turning it
example.
over in your hand as an independent variable to establish the cause of shoe, you are quite literally retarded. And you're telling me I don't understand science?
Well, then it should be no trouble. It should be no trouble to debate me on a.
I am debating with you right now and pointing out
it's no
that you
trouble.
are
It's a
mentally
drag.
retarded based on the fact that you have given shoe as a natural phenomena. Number one, it's not a phenomena. Number two, it's not natural. So it fails fundamentally in every single respect. Yeah.
Shoes are part of the natural world.
That's lovely. They're not a phenomena, and while they may be a part of the natural world, they are most definitely not natural because they are man-made.
Fallacy.
A what fallacy?
Yeah. What
It's
fallacy?
the equivocation fallacy.
What's equivocating? What is an
Sorry.
equivocation? Hold on a second.
I
Hold on.
don't wanna
I know
continue
that's a
this.
big word. It's
Oh,
got a lot of
God.
syllables. It's got a lot of syllables, so it's hard for you.
Well,
But the
yeah,
equivocation
listen,
fallacy
you fucking retard.
when you-
What's
is-
an
is when you
equivocation
are-
fallacy?
It's when
Define
you
it.
are ambiguous about two different senses of the meaning of a word.
Okay, which
Okay.
word's that?
Hold on. Now apply that to my rebuttal to you claiming a shoe is a phenomena and you claiming an independent variable is you turning a shoe over in your hand. Explain how that is in any way equivocated.
So it's the equivocation fallacy because you're equivocating between two different senses of the word
I already
natural.
said that.
You
do
this
it.
all the you
Give
do
it
this all
the
the time.
example. Don't restate your position.
Yeah. It's the
Yeah.
difference between something which is physical, part of the natural universe, and natural as opposed to artificial, meaning man-made. Humans are part of the natural physical universe.
And are they
We're
man-made?
not-
Hold
we're
on.
not
Are
we're
they
not
man-made?
supernatural.
Are they? Hold on.
not-
They've introduced three things. It sounds like you're using an equivocation fallacy to me, because now you've juxtaposed three things: supernatural,
No, I
natural, and man-made. So it's either natural
I'm not-
or unnatural. Man-made.
No.
No, I knew that was coming. No. Okay,
I'm
let's
not
go over some
for
definitions
one, I'm not catching,
of natural.
I'm not catching
Shut
the
her
beginnings
up.
of it.
Shut her up.
Naturally natural.
Shut her up. We're going to go over some definitions of natural in the natural world. Natural world. All of the animals, plants, and other things existing in nature and not made or caused by people. Natural, Oxford Dictionary. Not made or caused by humankind. Natural, vocabulary.com. Something that comes from nature rather than being man-made. Natural, from nature, not artificial or involving anything made or caused by people. End of statement.
Yeah. So, in other words, not
Yeah, those
man-made.
are different senses. You know, words can have different meanings depending on
Really?
context.
That
Right.
one has one meaning.
Yeah, shoes
No,
aren't
it
natural.
doesn't.
They're not phenomena.
two-
You fail on both counts. You don't understand
Yeah.
what science is dealing with. You're a moron.
Right. And since it's
It
cause
is-
and effect, if you put a man-made object as your dependent variable, the cause is always man-made. So how many scientific
No,
theories? Because
that's
the
false.
result of the scientific method is to come to a scientific theory. So how many frigging toaster oven theories and pendulum theories do you run into in the literature? Please.
Quantum eraser. Is the soul natural?
Oh, stop red herring, you stupid.
Sorry, shoes aren't natural, and they're not
Is the
phenomena.
soul? Is the
Let's not
is
move
the
on.
soul- is
Shoes
your
aren't
spirit
natural.
Or soul
Shoes.
natural?
Look, you're trying to mop up the mess that you've just made. The mess
I
that
haven't
you've
made a
claimed
mess
that a
at all.
shoe is a phenomena and that it's natural. It's not. It's not a
Is the
phenomena.
soul
It's not
natural?
natural. Simple. It's not
Yeah,
science.
the
You're
soul of the shoe is not natural.
No, is the soul, the spirit,
Man-made. How many times, you deaf
natural?
idiot? Man-made. Somebody sewed that soul.
Yeah, see, this is equivocation fallacy, right? You're equivocating between soul, meaning the soul of the shoe, and soul, meaning the spirit.
They're not the same.
No, we
word.
didn't mean the spirit. You were talking about shoes, and then you mentioned soul. So obviously, we're going to assume that we're talking about your example given as a scientific experiment of shoe, trying to cause out what shoe is. So there we go. Now you're telling us that we're using an equivocation because we're talking about souls, as in what go to heaven in the Christian religion and various other religions. No, we're not talking about that. You were talking about shoes.
No, I was talking about fish, soul, the fish.
So what? You're just playing with us with equivocation? Wow. Well, clever girl.
Though I'm giving you the examples of what equivocation fallacy is.
Don't need an example of equivocation. You've told us shoe is science. It isn't. A man made it. There you go. Cause established. You're a bonehead. This isn't science. Doesn't need science. This is what you apply all the time. Looking at shit and then saying, I've got science for this, when I declare something about it. And according to you, you're going to turn it over and then declare what a shoe is, or what the cause of a shoe is by turning it over. Yeah, that's about the level of globehead science. I'm going to look at something, maybe have a little fiddle with it, if possible, most likely not touch it in the slightest, and then just declare what an entire world or universe is.
Yep, that's what they do. And they
the universe
think
is
they're learned.
natural.
They think they're learning.
Is the universe
in the
man-made?
process.
No.
Clinical level Dunning-Kruger. That's all we got here.
Is the universe man-made?
Who cares? You think a shoe is science. You're a moron.
No, the equivocation fallacy is you equivocating between soul, meaning the bottom of a shoe, soul, meaning spirit, the spirit, and soul, meaning of the fish.
Right, and you were talking about the soul of a shoe because you were talking about shoe being science. So unless you're now going to equivocate with one of those three things, then who cares? Because we haven't done that. It's your example.
So that's what you do, is you equivocate between natural, meaning man-made or artificial, and natural, meaning
what?
Part of this universe.
Oh, shut up. You're just irritating me now. Brenda, shut up.
Sense that we are part of this
Shut
universe.
up. You're just a bonehead. You're an idiot. You don't understand what
That's
science is, and you tell us.
fallacy,
Yeah,
Nathan.
I don't care. You're an idiot. You keep telling us what science is when you haven't got the vaguest clue.
You don't care about facts or the truth. You don't.
No, you haven't got a clue what science is. That's a fact. That's the truth. You've just told us you're going to do an experiment on shoe. That makes you mentally retarded.
So when are you going to get a GoFundMe to go to?
Why don't you shut up? When are you going to go to hell? You're a stupid idiot who comes here all the time to just basically demonstrate your complete lack of understanding when it comes to science and your overall abject stupidity in terms of everything you talk about.
No, I think you're a clown, Nathan.
I think you're a moron. Yeah, you've told us you're going to do science on shoe, clown. So what kind of shoe was it? A clown shoe?
So it's okay. It's okay. I think
you think science is shoe. You are a moron and you level clown at my door. No, clown. You think science is shoe. That is literally the level of your cognition. I'm going to do science on shoe. You're mentally retarded.
Because no, that's not what I said.
Yeah, you said you've got a phenomena on your hands. I said, is shoe a phenomena? You said yes.
And then
yes,
we said give the hypothesis, and you said it's a shoe.
It has a phenomenal. It would involve explaining a large word.
So did you say it's phenomenal? Did you just say it's? Sorry, did you just say it's phenomenal? Would that be? Let me get it straight. So would this be an equivocation then? Would this be an equivocation? Are you about to give the description of phenomenal?
Yeah. Do you know the difference between noumena and phenomena?
Excuse me, you're about to use an equivocation fallacy, aren't you, Brenda? This is unreal.
No, those are two different words. Do you know the difference between?
Yeah, two different words, and we're talking about a phenomena, one specific thing, which you haven't got in a shoe, you complete bonehead.
You know, if you had read Kant, Immanuel Kant, in his Critique of Pure Reason, you would understand phenomena. The difference between phenomena and noumena is the thing in itself. Phenomenon is how it appears to us.
Oh, that's deep. He also came up with the nebular hypothesis. Fucking clown.
Hang on.
Yeah, he was right.
He's right.
With regards to the shoe,
right.
Bender, Isn't that the phenomena or the noumena?
Oh god.
Hold on, I'm more interested in the nebula hypothesis. Hypothesis,
No,
you say?
phenomena is not noumena.
Hold on. Brenda, you are aware of this hypothesis? Take your time, love. Nebula hypothesis. Are you aware of this?
I'm missing parts of your words. Your
No,
sentences.
you're not.
At
You're
the
just a
beginning are
liar.
not coming
Bye
through,
for
and then I
time.
hear-
Bye for time while you Google search. No worries. We'll
Yeah.
give you a few seconds. I'll say it
Go
a
ahead.
third time. It's been said by me twice and John once. Nebula hypothesis. Are you aware of it, love?
No. I'm not aware
She
of
said
everything
it's
that
right,
can't
and are you
world.
aware of it? No. Unbelievable, man.
I'm not aware of why should I be aware of Kant's nebular hypothesis?
Because you said it was,
It was
correct.
right. You said it was correct. You stupid idiot.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
so let me get it straight. You're going to declare something you haven't got the vaguest clue about is correct. Wow. Talk about ignorant.
Well, I'm just
Ignorant.
I'm just
She should be
guessing,
institutionalized.
that
I agree.
I'm guessing that he predicted. I'm
You're
guessing.
just
that he
guessing now,
predicted,
are you?
that-
Wow,
that
Brenda.
galaxies
Have a
would
little.
form
I
as-
don't really care about you having a little guess about it, my love. Yeah, let's not hear your guesswork. You're demonstrably a fucktard. You've told us that shoe is a phenomena, so let's not guess. Let's not guess, okay?
Shoes are part of the phenomenal world.
About the phenomenal world. That's
The
nice.
fact that you're doubling down on that, Brenda, I mean, just pathetic.
Gonna level
honestly.
equivocation at our door and then do it herself. Perfect. That's what they
Yeah.
do.
Yeah, the shoe
What's the
has
observed phenomena?
two
Shoe. What's
shoes
your
have two
hypothesis?
aspects.
It's a shoe.
No, shoes have two. A shoe has two aspects. It is the thing in
The
itself.
shoe, shoestrings, and sole.
Well, its phenomenal aspect, the part how it appears to us.
Shut up, man. You know what? I don't need to listen to an Elmer Fudd sophist give me their philosophy. Mrs. DNA is made of amino
Well,
acids.
then it
Don't
should be no trouble to humiliate me
Don't
in,
need it.
in a
Yes.
in a debate.
Yeah, it was dead easy.
You should do
yeah,
that.
yeah, it was. It was really easy. We just asked you if shoe was a phenomena and you said yes. Thus, humiliation ensued from there on in. And that's all we've had. You being humiliated over and over and over again while you confirm that you believe a shoe is a phenomena.
Yes, of course it's a phenomenon.
Yeah, so humiliation achieved, really easy. So when you say it should be really easy to humiliate me, yes, it is. We simply ask, do you believe a shoe is a phenomena? And you say, yes, I believe a shoe is a phenomena.
Brenda, can I
A
ask
shoe
you a
has
question?
two aspects. It's phenomenal and its nominal aspect. Right? The
Brenda,
shoe
can I ask you
in
a question?
itself, there's an aspect of that, and then there's the other aspect, which is the phenomenological aspect, which is how it appears to us. Its
Brenda, can I
appearance,
ask you a question,
Like a
please?
shoe?
the thing in itself.
Like a shoe?
Hello?
That's what that's what the word phenomenon means. Is its
Oh, so
appearance.
it's
Hello?
a shoe. So we
I know that
observe a
this is
shoe,
difficult for you.
and then it's a shoe, right?
Right.
Science.
Brenda, can I ask
Yes.
a question, please?
Yeah, the thing in itself. There's a distinction made. This
Oh,
is
I
the
don't want to hear it
distinction that
5 more
Kant made
times.
between
Don't want to
the
hear it
thing
5
in
more times,
itself
Brenda.
and how it appears to
Brenda,
us.
Brenda, we don't need to hear it 5 more times. Unlike you, we're not deaf. Go ahead, Anthony.
Brenda, can you tell me what a concrete noun is?
A concrete noun. A concrete noun names just an item. It names something objective, right? Like this table.
So, would you agree with me
The
if I said a
table
shoe
is a
was
concrete noun.
Would you agree with
What?
me if I suggested that a shoe was a concrete noun, not a phenomena?
The word shoe is a concrete
No.
noun.
No, the object shoe is a concrete noun.
No, of course not.
So table,
Sure.
not a phenomena. Shoe, definitely a phenomena.
Tables are phenomenal.
You just
So,
gave
hey,
us. Hold
Brenda,
on.
did I
Hold
just
on.
hear you
Hold on.
right?
Hold on.
A
Hold
shoe
on.
is
Anthony's
not-
letter. Hold on. Go ahead, Anthony.
Well, it's just a
No,
case
he's
of
lost.
if you-
He's lost.
No, I'm not lost. I'm just realizing that you don't realize that
He's
you're
lost.
But this is what they do. When they get their ass absolutely handed to them, they instantly go into projection vomit mode.
Yep.
That's what
Yep.
she's doing. Quick, project my abject stupidity onto Anthony.
Yeah.
You think
So
that the thing, the object, the shoe, is a noun?
God.
It's not
Concrete
a noun.
noun.
It's a shoe.
Oh, it's not a noun? A shoe's not a
It's
noun.
a shoe.
Shoe
It's
is
a
not a
shoe.
noun,
Is it a
Brenda?
verb?
Really?
Hold on. Do you think it's
I'm
an
gonna
adjective?
shoe you.
Is it an adjective?
No, it's a physical material object. It's not
So
a
a
word.
noun. A noun.
So
Yeah,
now.
this is more equivocation. This is more equivocation.
Not equivocation.
fallacy. This is what you do all the time.
It is a concrete noun.
No, the word shoe
phenomenon.
is a
Brenda,
concrete
you need
noun.
to stop taking these medications and try some new ones because they're not working anymore.
Brenda,
It's
listen,
a reverse
it is a concrete
reification
noun.
equivocation fallacy.
The word
This-
shoe is a noun, correct?
Did you hear that the other day, John, when that guy leveled a reverse equivocation? What did you call it? That was what that guy did, right? When I said, "Hang on, a plane's not a natural phenomena," you went, "No, that's no, a reification fallacy." It's like what a reverse. What did you say? Say it again.
The reverse reification equivocation fallacy.
A reverse reification equivocation fallacy.
I just made
That's
that
a
shit
nice
up.
one. I love glowheads sometimes.
Yeah, that was really stupid. The reverse reification, when reification is the fallacy of misplaced concreteness. How can you reverse that?
You can't. He's just a moron. He was an idiot. But people hear these things and like to pretend they understand what they mean. So he's heard reification fallacy and gone, I must use this in conversation. I'll sound really smart.
Nathan,
He's like got a glossary of fallacies.
he was
Hold on,
trying to
Anthony's trying to get
assert-
closure. Everyone shut up. Go ahead, Anthony.
Okay, sorry about that.
Let's get closure on the shoe being a concrete noun over a phenomena, because if we can wrap this up, right, we can basically bury Brenda and leave her buried. So Brenda, can you just clarify what your position is? We say that the shoe is a concrete noun. You believe that it's a phenomena. You've given us the correct interpretation or the correct definition for what is a concrete noun, yet you still seem to think the shoe is a phenomena. Could you just clarify your position, please?
Concrete noun. The thing itself is not a noun. I'm not wearing nouns on my feet right now. I'm wearing shoes.
Right, I think you cut your first couple of words cut then. I didn't hear what your first bits were. So
Okay.
let me re-ask. Is a shoe a concrete noun or not?
The word shoe is a concrete noun.
Right, so it's not a phenomena then, is it?
The word shoe refers to the object that we call a shoe.
Correct.
There's a difference between the reference, right, and the thing that we're talking about, right? The word
He's splitting
shoe,
up the word and the shoe. So he's saying
word
the
shoe-
shoe is different than the shoe. They're two separate
yeah, the
beings.
object, right? It's the difference between the map and the territory. The word shoe maps a cluster of beliefs about shoes into
Yeah,
a
keep
label.
going, Brenda. Keep going.
Right.
Oh
The
my
shoe is a
God.
cluster. Shoe is a cluster of beliefs. Things like it's brown. It's made out of leather. It can fit my feet. You tie it with a shoelace, and all those things,
Wow.
right, are clustered together. And
Brenda,
they
go
refer
back
to
to your
clustered together.
and get new medication, please.
So Brenda,
refer
when
to an
George
object.
Musser used the word magic, what was he using magic then for?
So that's what the difference between the sense and the reference. There's the referent, shoes. The word shoe refers to a physical object.
When George
the object-
Musser used the word magical and magic to describe gravity rather than the scientific method, what was he
No.
referring?
Hold
The
on.
thing referred to,
Yeah,
the thing
don't go
referred
there.
to is
Hold
not
on.
the referent.
So what you're saying is it refers to a physical object when you say shoe.
Right.
So noun. A noun is a word that functions as the same of some specific thing or set of things, such as living creatures, objects, places, actions, qualities, states of existence, or ideas.
So shoe is a noun.
Correct.
Yes.
So
You can't wear a noun though. You can't.
we're not worried about whether or not we can wear a noun. We're worried about whether or not it's a phenomena, which it's not. It's a concrete noun. Not a phenomena, Brenda. How long's this taking? Seems like pretty low-grade stuff that we're teaching you here. Nouns, adjectives, phenomena.
Those are words. Those are words and
Yeah,
language.
that's right. Words you don't know the meaning of, because you think a shoe is not actually a noun, but in fact a phenomena, something occurring.
That's correct.
One last thing, Brenda.
Wait a second. Does she wear a phenomena on her feet?
Yeah, do you wear phenomena?
Yes.
Their answer. Yes, you do.
That's what they are.
You wear phenomena.
I wear
No,
physical. I wear physical.
I get it. It's the make of the shoe.
I wear physical, phenomenal things on my feet. I don't wear words
No, you don't.
on my feet.
No, you don't. You are a moron.
I don't have nouns.
Hey, Brenda,
I don't have
Brenda,
nouns.
let me just say this to you. By way of extension to your problem with distinguishing a phenomena against a concrete noun, don't you ever criticize me again for having a semantical debate, particularly when you have a semantic debate and lose.
I would like to debate you anytime, Riley.
Can I just ask what's occurring? Is it shoe?
Word and the thing the word refers to.
Oh God! Please, no more. I'm losing the will to live.
Well,
Yeah,
you
I'm
don't
done.
understand it either, Quantum Eraser. You're
What,
a clown.
we don't understand the workings of an idiot. Yeah, you're right. We don't understand
No,
what
you
the bloody
think-
hell you're
yeah, you
babbling
think
about
it's-
because you're an idiot. You're talking about shoes being phenomena, which they're not. You're talking about doing science on
course they
shoes, which you can't. You're an idiot. So it's not
What's
that we
your
don't
proof
understand.
that-
We
what's
just
your
don't
proof that shoes
understand
aren't
the
phenomenal?
babbling nonsense that comes out of your mouth. That's what we don't understand. Because it's nonsense. Babbling nonsense
Do you
from an idiot.
understand? Do you understand the difference between the word and the thing the word refers to?
Oh God!
I wonder
Please,
when
not
globe
again.
heads are listening to you, do they cringe or do they cheer for your silly ass? Because this
Is
is beyond ridiculous, Brenda.
Is it just
Are you
me
kidding?
Your
Is it just not
incredulity or
brain cells that
incapability
cringe?
of understanding the
No,
simple,
sorry,
simplest
Brenda, you're
things
going
that-
in high
that,
level psychosis. I'm serious. You're
Brenda,
thinking on a
would-
high
would we
level,
need the
but you're
word-
constantly
then you should
mixing up.
debate
You're
me, and
completely
you can
cognitive dissonance with
destroy me in an
reality.
environment where you don't have the advantage, right?
Serious.
Wait, what are you talking- hold on. What are
Brenda,
you talking about? Have the advantage?
Symptoms.
Hold on. The advantage? You mean
Yes.
knowing the difference between a phenomena and a concrete noun? That sort of advantage. That's not like we've got some unfair advantage. You're just dumb.
What's the difference between a phenomenal thing and the noun?
What came first, the shoe or the word shoe?
One's physical, one's metaphysical.
No, they're
I
all
seriously don't even believe we're having
don't
this
know- you know,
discussion.
that's
We
another
learn
word
what
you don't
nouns and
understand is
adjectives are in
metaphysical.
first grade.
Exactly. Chocolate, vanilla.
Right. The word
Hey,
is not
Ranty.
the thing. The map is not the
Get over
territory.
yourself, Brenda. We don't give a shit about the difference between words and the actual thing.
Hey, chocolate. Let's
Well, you
chocolate
don't
end
understand
this.
the
Are you in,
difference.
hey,
Shut
chocolate,
the hell
are
up,
you
you
in,
stupid cow.
Are you in
No,
this?
you don't understand anything.
Chocolate.
Bloody hell. What have I jumped into here?
Chocolate.
Yeah. Chocolate. Can you repeat?
I'm here.
Are you in Discord?
Not right now, no. I can get in there if you need me to.
Hey, I need. No, I'll go in. I've had enough of her. So I'm the bad guy anyway. So
Debate me anytime.
We're debating
Where
you
you
now.
don't have
know
the
the difference
advantage
between a
of the mute
phenomena
button,
and
you
a
can't
noun.
shout down and talk over people, right?
You
Brenda,
never got
why do you ask people to debate you while you're debating them? Are you some kind of psycho?
Because I want a
No,
moderator
you sound like a
involved.
psycho.
I
While
suggest
we're
first getting
debating,
the
can
definition
we
of
debate?
words to debate.
don't worry about Brenda anymore. She went bye bye, fall down, go boom boom.
But I mean, if she doesn't even know definitions of words, how can she debate? It's like, really?
What pisses me off is that she uses the semantic argument against me because I say, well, what does that mean? And she doesn't like it, but she's doing the exact thing that she criticizes me of.
Yeah, it's nothing but projection vomit. That's all they have.
Honestly, this was just another tactic. Her ridiculous phenomenon is so crazy that she had to go to the extent of saying, no, it's not a noun.
Please, let's
like
not
anybody
relive it.
past first grade doesn't know what a noun is. Like,
Can we wrap the Brenda phenomena up? Thanks.
it's not
yeah,
a phenomenon.
Humans are not phenomena. Table is
Can
not a
someone have
phenomena.
more toe
Clothes are
tags?
not phenomena.
Did somebody have multiple toe tags? Yeah, they're littered everywhere.
Yeah, Brenda's got a lot of toe tags here.
We should have a toe
Bro, you
tag
gotta
poll.
put that
Who's got the
shoe.
most at the end of the year?
Brenda's,
Well, not too many.
they've all got. Go on, John.
I'm sorry. I stepped on you. Go ahead.
I was just going to say they've all got very limited levels of shame. So it doesn't matter how humiliating their defeat is. In this instance, just to the level of, even the stupidest member of the audience will understand how humiliating that was for Brenda. But even she will come back and make out like nothing's happened.
Oh yeah, no, she'll jump over to the Clown Jose show and go over this, and I'll tell you what, these freaking retards will agree with her. That's how retarded they are.
Yeah, she'll go over there and tell everybody, I won. the flurfers don't know what a noun is. Like, okay, Brenda, thanks. Put your ridiculousness on display for everyone, so thank you.
Well, I didn't want
It's
the show
beyond
to end.
ridiculous. It's psychotic. It's symptomatic, systematic, psychotic behavior. Serious. It's beyond any other Glober I've seen so far. Brenda goes so bad.
No, this is
I
what
think it's
they all
comedy
act like
gold.
are when deep down they're all Brendas.
No, not like this. Not that.
Yeah, they
not
are,
that
man.
cascaded. No, but look, Globers tend to like move themselves into a corner and then latch onto weird cognitive dissonance-based, dual realities, basically, like with the Coriolis effect or with gravity. But Brenda, like, literally spirals into full-scale psychosis.
Yep. Yeah,
Like
I
where
guess
she
you're right.
literally starts saying things and thinks she's right, but doesn't realize that it doesn't make sense, and she just thinks it makes sense. Total loss of grip on reality.
Yep.
On a very close level, very close by.
On a colossal scale. Okay, is there any other ballers in this? I'm looking through this Discord. Let's see what we got here, because we don't want to go yet. We don't want Nathan to get that itchy trigger finger to end the show, because it's 4 more hours. 4 more hours. All right, hold on. What do we got?
Hashtag same team.
Chocolate, have you
Xanax
seen
in
a
here.
couple of videos?
Say again, brother.
Have you seen my last couple of videos?
My light
What,
on.
with the
I've got my camera
experiment?
cued. I was just about to round out the show at the perfect 2-hour mark.
No, Nathan, no, do it.
4 more hours. 4
never
more.
gonna-
Come on, everyone.
Never going to get on top of my website.
4 more hours.
Chocolate, have you seen my latest couple of videos, Chocolate?
Yeah, the last one I saw was the experiment.
Nathan, we demand a 24/7 live stream debate.
Yes. Good job.
Forever.
No, the only reason
never
these
sleep
remain...
again.
I think the only reason they remain popular is because it's not 24/7. I had considered that at one stage, but I think keeping it fresh daily, is, that to keep it a little bit more limited makes people want to come back the following day. But if you just flood them with 24/7 debates, people just, they can dip in for 10 minutes. But typically, you should see my watch time averages. They're amazing. On the second channel, where this will be going out, it's half an hour. Just under half. I think it's 29 minutes average view duration. That's astonishing.
Yeah, the 24-hour Discord only gets like 5 to 12 views constant.
That's true.
Yeah, but that doesn't
So
mean
you're
we
just-
can't go somewhere in the middle, like have each show 2 hours, have the after show a half hour, and then, or have 3 shows 2 hours long.
What you're saying is 10 minutes before each show, 2 hours, 2 shows, that's 4 hours, plus half an hour on each after show, plus about 20 minutes in between to set up between the 2 shows. So you're talking about 7 hours plus the half an hour before. No,
Yes.
no.
No. You could do it, Nathan. You could do it. We believe
I'm
in
gonna
you.
run myself into the ground as it is. I've got to start cutting back the amount of shows. My wife was like saying, you know, you're going to run yourself into the ground if you're not. I love doing it. That's the problem. It's like all I've done all morning is trim out little bits of video, and then took my kid swimming and realised I'd done the wrong one. There we go. Cut out the wrong bit.
Yeah. I got.
Did you guys see that? So yesterday there was Lowry in the chat, and he's being an obnoxious prick. I'm like, anybody know this guy's toe tag number? And someone got at me and were like, it's this number. So I went in, found the 10-minute section that I wanted to cut out, trimmed it out, stuck it up on the computer. Today, come to upload it, and there's 2 other videos that I've uploaded that are full debates that haven't gone out yet. And I'm there going, which one was it? So I'm running out the door, I go, it's that one. Just press it, and it's just a random wrong one. The one before, in fact. So I've ended up with this full live show where I was supposed to only take out a 10-minute clip. Oh well.
Yeah, it had Kosho on it too, that knucklehead.
Yeah, that was the time I was telling you about when I was waiting for someone to come in and describe Aristarchus.
Right. Yeah.
He was the
I
first
thought it
to
was
come
just
in.
Lori. I said, damn, this is a long toe tag.
Yeah, that was accidental. But there we go. I like doing it. By the same token, I don't want to wear myself out. So what I may end up doing is doing 1 show Monday to Wednesday, and then 2 shows on Thursday and Friday, because they get split out over the weekend anyway.
Oh, damn.
Speaking of not burning yourself out, Nathan, do you want to do the hangout tonight where we look at GeoStreamer, Sean, and whoever else it was in that hangout? And
Whoa. Hold on. Don't answer that. GeoStreamer's out here again.
That was amazing.
Is GeoStreamer out here again?
Yes.
Yeah, he's come back out of his hole.
First, you need to ask him 2 questions anytime he gets on a hangout. Number 1, is he getting fed by anyone? Have him turn on his camera. We need to see it. And number 2, he has still yet to provide the equation for germ theory to Betty.
Yeah, math is reality. He should have an equation for germ theory. He was challenged to get one. He tried to get it from the chat and failed. One of his compadres told him, no, there ain't no mathematical formula for germ theory, my friend.
Exactly. Hey, Nathan, can we rerun that show? You know, in one of your time slots where you rerun it? I got to find it.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah, Anthony, that's another reason to not do 2 shows every day, is that, yeah, I can do things like the Bullbusters extra show and your show and Ranty shows. Whereas at the moment, if I'm spread thin on my own channel, as much as that's profitable, obviously that is a priority as well. It means I can actually go out and go on other people's channels like your own, and yeah, definitely.
Well, I was going to suggest doing it on your channel, because I don't mind not doing it on mine.
I don't mind I'm just talking about the amount of time I'm sat in this chair, concerned with things on screens. Yeah, fine. I don't mind doing it on my channel either.
That's what my suggestion was going to be. Why doesn't some of the Ballbusters guys or the regular guys on here take over a second or third show daily?
People are going to take it up as they have. So what we've got in that regard is Jose and Channel Q and a few others that have essentially filled the other side of the argument with the same format. So people are doing that. Say again.
Fill the available volume.
It's just because you said you got Jose and Channel Q who filled and I was expecting your next words to be the available volume.
That's why every time I hear Nathan say the gas, I expect to hear the gas will fill the space.
Yeah.
That's Wiggles that said that. Fill the available volume is the guy from MIT. The gas will fill the space is a quote from Wiggles.
Yeah.
Nah, it's all about how you say it, though.
It is.
Like the earth turns underneath. Awesome.
Do you know why I do that? Because most of the arguments that we're dealing with, at quite a fundamental level, are basic. They're actually quite simple. So as more time progresses in the subject of globe earth debate and flat earth debate, I get more and more relaxed in the arguments because at their heart, they're quite simple. The problem isn't the complexity of the undoing of the argument or the argument itself. The problem is the many, many, many layers of bullshit that's been smeared on top as undoings for the simplistic debunking. So an example of that is the Coriolis effect. Not very complicated when you look at it. It's just a turning roundabout and you throwing a ball off it. That's it. Well, the ball looks like it curves because you're spinning underneath the ball while it travels in a straight line. I mean, you can summarise it in about 5 sentences. So it's not very complicated. And there's a claim that that effect is on Earth, which is to say the Earth turns underneath. Well, that's the fundamental necessity of the Coriolis effect on Earth, the Earth turning underneath. But they will double speak back and forth between 2 and 1 reference frames. The Earth travelling with the atmosphere, the Earth not travelling with the atmosphere, depending on the argument that they're having. If they're arguing with you about it not demonstrating velocity with the Earth travelling and the atmosphere travelling with it, they'll argue that position. Whereas if you're trying to claim that there is a difference in reference frame because NASA are using it as a slingshot effect, then they'll argue for 2 reference frames. So it depends on the circumstances. But the fundamental part of the argument is very basic. But they will deny it. That's why I said on the live show about confirming or clarifying when you're using a hostile source. Because typically in the debate, it's not like we're arguing with Neil deGrasse Tyson. He's our source for their rhetoric because they deny their own rhetoric, especially with Coriolis. They'll claim you've got 1 reference frame. They won't mention the fact that that is devoid of giving you a Coriolis effect at all if you've only got 1 reference frame. So every time George says that you've got 1 reference frame, the Earth and atmosphere travel as 1, well, there is no Coriolis effect. But then he'll be discussing with Rumpus and they'll go back and forth between the 2 of them. It's just to confuse you. So it's about keeping the argument as simplistic, or the explanation for the argument as simplistic as possible. So there's also a tightrope in that regard, because if you do it too well, it sounds like I'm arguing for the Earth turning underneath, right? So you've got to, it's really difficult to balance it up, make it clear that their argument necessitates the Earth turning underneath, and in that you can debunk it based on aeroplanes not showing that. But that is simple, other than the obfuscation coming from people like George and Rumpus.
George and Rumpus. So we got the Rumpus. Air is not the atmosphere. Arguing with a closed thermos is an open system, George. That's what you got.
Wowzers.
I mean, we're in Brenda territory.
And George agrees now that you can have a gradient in a closedness system.
The other thing is, I don't watch Jose's channel, but ultimately speaking, I hear that people go over there and then, like you say, claim victory. But would it be my assumption that they'll back her in a bullshit? In other words, they'll just be agreeable. In other words, they won't call her out on her complete abject nonsense.
No, they don't.
Oh no, they don't call each other out, man. They don't do that. You
on saying that,
very
though,
rarely
on saying
see anyone call. Oh
on
my
saying
God.
that, let me just be fair to Sean Hawkins of all people. He did correct Farmer's Boy when Farmer's Boy made some spurious allegation that I had misrepresented what the words on screen at the time were saying. Farmer's Boy said I'd said the opposite, and I didn't. And Sean Hawkins did say, actually, he did correct me on gravity. And then he diluted it by saying, well, I'm not defending him. So Sean did actually correct the position, but Farmer's Boy stood his position and reasserted his position, and then Sean backed down. But he did initially stand up.
Who the hell is Sean Hawkins?
Oh, he's some
old
dope
geezer, grizzly old-looking dude.
Yeah, he's not aesthetically pleasing on the eye. Put it that way.
Don't even.
Yeah, that doesn't mean anything.
Well, I'm just trying to
does he have
you
any
said, who is he?
arguments?
He said, who is he? He's just some grizzly-looking old dude that fights for the ball.
And has no points and is very negative and disruptive.
Yeah, he is horrible.
Is he the one with boobs?
No, that's
No, he's the one that's always on camera.
That's the other Sean Hufford. Somebody asked him what was his bra size the other day, and he actually told them. I think he said 40 double D.
Oh, do we have to have this conversation?
No, don't. I just ate breakfast, man. Come on.
I just thought it was interesting that
Yeah. Let's not go there.
Agree, Darwin.
So yeah, Brenda, I'm looking at Jose's right now, who is live, and Brenda is indeed on the panel. Although,
Of course, I told you.
We're talking. Mostly Rumpus.
Guaranteed.
and
Nathan
Laurie.
muted me. Nathan.
It's Rumpus, Flat Earth Data, and Laurie talking mostly.
I think it was actually John that muted her in the end, was it not?
I took Brenda. Yeah, I muted Brenda. I had enough of the observed phenomena, shoe, hypothesis. It's a shoe. That'll be enough of that.
But that's what I'm saying, isn't it? A very poor reflection of anybody that doesn't call that out. I mean, obviously, when we're calling out various people on our own side for various things they've stated, it's normally because it's critical to a particular topic. So, for example, today with Nora, well, I didn't get to ask this question, but I'll ask it now. What's in it for her?
She doesn't want to admit that she has a view that is devoid of any evidence. She won't admit that. She wants to believe that philosophy is, because PhD is the philosopher of science. She believes that philosophy is a credible position to take, and I just strongly disagree with that. I think that evidence is far more persuasive than philosophy.
But, or is it even relevant, really?
But what,
You
I
know,
don't understand.
science is just
I'll
so
just
clearly
qualify my
defined. If
question
you
again.
want to speculate.
Sorry, I just want to qualify my question.
Can I
What
make
mean
a
by that
comment?
is, you can just want to qualify my question because the answer was sufficient, but it just didn't answer the question. Maybe if I give a bit more of an expansion, Anthony will expand on it. I don't know. We'll see. But so, what's in it for her, given that this claimed force of down is essential in the old rhetoric for a heliocentric world, but absolutely devoid of any necessity whatsoever on a flat plane? So what's in it for her?
I think it's the same reason that Bob supports her. Whatever the reason for what's in it for her is also what's in it for Bob. I don't know the answer. I'd love to know the answer, but they both have that same syndrome, which is basically they both refuse to accept that they might not actually be right here.
So it's basically so you're saying they're doubling down. So they've made this claim prior to the highlighting of it's not non-essential to any of our arguments, but they've ultimately in maybe the past claimed there was a force because it seemed prevalent in the argument, so much so that maybe accounting for it was easier than debunking it, and they've just doubled down on that. I'm just guessing. I don't know the backstory to Bob or Nora or anybody else.
I can't. I don't know the answer to that question. I just presume it's pride, ego, or just being a dick.
No, it's the
I'm a
compelling
little bit
nature.
behind on
Hold on, I want to hear
the
Arwin.
dispute.
Arwin's definitely got the most.
What's the issue with Nora and Bob? I mean, I thought they were flat earthers. I thought we all sung off the same.
They are. Hashtag same team. Look, I just want to hear what Arwin's got to say for a change, because he's the most, he's got the most insight in this because he was in this position.
Yes.
Okay.
What I'm detecting from both of them is like an enthusiasm for gravity, and what it basically is it's an effect similar to being in love with a toy, and you don't want to let it go because they like dealing with it so much. Even though they know they're kind of in trouble with it, they're still defending it because they just like it so much. And that was the same for me before I figured out that it was basically an aberration. And that
Just blind love.
nature is alluring to accept despite the lack of evidence.
Okay, Paul, I know you've been waiting patiently. Go ahead, and then Chemo, if you like.
Yeah, I saw some of the dialogue on the Master B, and I don't know if you saw me. I said don't throw the baby out of the bathwater. I mean, I think you can't use. I mean, philosophy is necessary for analyzing information and data, but it's almost. I know it can't be the starting point, because basically philosophy is arguing over words and meanings and definitions. That's ultimately what it comes down to. How do you reason? How do you logically come to a conclusion? So I want to say, just be careful to throw out philosophy completely. You can't do that. Every time we get onto this debate, there's a philosophical argument occurring.
That's what they're talking about when they
and so it doesn't mean.
But you can't use philosophy to try and do away with science.
Layman's terms.
Somebody's over talking. Somebody's talking in the background.
Yeah, I hear somebody in the background.
Yeah, someone on Discord's nattering away.
I've muted them.
Okay.
I
It
muted
was,
you, Anthony,
it
just so
was
you know.
report laserized.
Go ahead. We didn't hear that last statement you said because you were being overtalked. The last person talking.
I'm Paul. It's me, I
Yeah,
guess.
Paul, go ahead.
Well, all I'm saying is philosophy helps us process information, but it necessarily isn't maybe the source of that information. And also, philosophy is a part of defining words and the logical fallacies that you're all using. We're using philosophical ideas and concepts and things to process information. I don't know if it's necessarily the starting point on gathering whether a phenomenon is real or not, or true or not. That's not my point. But just to reject philosophy out of hand is also dangerous, because all we're doing all day long is philosophizing. I mean, we're doing the very thing. I posted that definition in there. So all I'm saying is be careful. Don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. Actually, we should embrace philosophy to rationally understand what we're seeing and doing, and
Well,
then
who
we're making our
brought
arguments
up
sound.
philosophy was bad? Yeah, I don't know why you're on the topic. Who brought up philosophy was a no-go?
Look, philosophy.
Hold on. Anthony did, but he's on mute because he was tapping away on his keyboard. You're on mute, Anthony. It was you that said you'd take evidence over philosophy. Hopefully you'll... There we go.
Yeah, there's a...
Right, that's what I was saying.
I don't disagree with the role of philosophy within science in the sense that we're talking about the bigger picture, generally speaking. However, I do disagree with philosophy being the justification for proof. It isn't.
Who's using it?
Right.
Nora.
Nora? No, she's not using any philosophy in her remarks back and her remarks on the videos.
She's using philosophy to justify her position.
No, she's not.
Yeah, she has done in the past. With
She
me,
wrote
John.
it on Skype.
Not what I mentioned earlier.
No,
where was the philosophy in that?
I've had a deeper meaningful with Nora, and her position is ingrained from Aristotle, from when she was younger, because she studied him at some level. I don't know what level it was, but she's influenced by Aristotle, and she accepts his philosophical approach. And that's the reason why I disagree with her strongly, because it's one thing to accept this philosophical approach, but to then deem it as fact is the problem that I have a problem with it with. So if you narrow down the issues with Nora, you'll find that it stems back to Aristotle and her acceptance of his position, and it's philosophy based, not empirical.
I need to. That sounds like gibberish to me. There's nothing in Aristotle's philosophy that says that George Musser's quote was sensible.
You're right. It is gibberish. However, that's her position. That's why I call her out on it, because I don't agree with her position. But that is her justification for it.
I don't see the connection between. I'll say this one more time. I'm going to say this one more time. I don't see where the Aristotelian philosophy is being employed when Nora says that George Musser's quote of gravity is not a force, but we can think of it as a force, is justified through Aristotelian philosophy. I don't see it. Can you show me the connection?
You'd have to get her to show it you. But all I can tell you, John, is that that's how she supported it with me in person when I spoke to her, and she won't come online to discuss it because she's she's a coward. She doesn't want to be accountable for her bullshit. She wants to just preach it without challenge.
Yeah, I just don't see the connection.
I accept that you don't see it, but I'm telling you that's the position that she takes and for why.
No, but it's not directly related. Look, what you're basically saying is that philosophy drives her and makes her choose certain priorities is not literally the core of the argument itself. So that may be a misconstruing.
Right. That's what got me confused, Darwin. I just don't see it from the comments I read off earlier. I'm not saying obviously Tony has had discussions with her in the past that I'm not privy to. I wasn't in those discussions. I just don't see the connection to her points now with Aristotelian philosophy. I just don't see it.
Then try and engage with her, and then you'll see that all will be revealed. I'm right. I'm not saying that she's she's just evasive. She doesn't want to be accountable.
I'd love to see her challenged, but she won't challenge. She won't have it with me because she's blocked me. So maybe you should try and get her to speak to you.
Well, she obviously
Here's
listens to
something
the
as a nice-
show.
Luck with that.
She obviously listened to the
Sorry,
show
sorry,
because
John.
I caught her. Hold on a second. She obviously listens to the show because I caught her comments. I was responding to her comments underneath one of the videos. So she's obviously watching. So anytime you want to come in here, Nora, if you're not watching this morning or today, the invitation is always open for you to come in and support your bullshit, right? That we toe tagged you with earlier.
But that's never gonna happen. It's no use saying that because she's made elaborate statements how she's never gonna do that.
Is that going to be a thing?
Never-
We're going to start toe tagging flat earthers.
Yes.
No.
Why not?
Yes.
Why not?
Hey,
Darwin, hold on.
Can I
Why
speak to
not?
Anthony just for a second?
Hold
Go on,
on, Paul.
Leave him alone.
No, go on, Paul. Go ahead.
Whoa,
I
that was
was
a
gonna
good
tell Anthony,
subject.
this is-
Oh, God.
We'll come back to the toe tags for flat earthers, I promise. Go on,
Okay,
Paul.
go ahead, Paul.
I don't think we need
Okay.
infighting.
I mean, okay,
Fucking
I was going to speak to Anthony just.
Let Paul go.
Who's talking over me?
Chemo.
Okay.
Go ahead, Paul.
Okay. I mean, this is why you can't reject Aristotle, even as a philosophical idea, because he actually was the one, I think, came up with the idea of the prime mover. And I've pulled up a thing called Philosophy of Religion. It says Aristotle believed that all movement depends on there being a mover. For Aristotle, movement meant more than something traveling from A to B. Movement also included change, growth, melting, cooling, heating, etc. And there's an idea that, you know, we were talking about why things are moving, basically. Why do things fall down? Why do we do all this stuff? Aristotle was the first one to think there had to be, in a sense, he's attributing this prime mover to God, the first one to move. Who made the first movement? Who made the first change in this reality? So to reject whatever the word is, Aristotle's thinking is to reject that premise, which goes back to the ontological primitive. God is the first prime mover. He made the first change. He made the first movement. So that's only what I'll make towards Anthony. So don't.
You're conflating what I'm rejecting with something that I'm not. What I'm rejecting is that the premise that is what's the word I'm looking for?
Conceptual mechanics, philosophy.
Yeah, philosophy. The concept that philosophy can prove things is not a sound basis for supporting your position on gravity, because it's based on philosophy. You might as well base it on Narnia or Santa.
No. Well, how about on math?
Okay, wait a minute.
Same thing. It's a
let me speak to that for a second.
Math and philosophy
Let me speak to
are
that a second.
conceptual mechanics.
Define what you mean by prove things. Define what you mean. Are you saying proving the cause of an event? It can't do. Philosophy can't do that.
Correct.
But philosophy can prove certain things. It can't. It can prove certain things.
We're on the same page. I think you're making a point that I'm not making. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying there's no place for philosophy. What I'm saying is the place for philosophy is not in science.
Wait a second. Hold on right there. And this has a connection to what you just charged me with. So listen up, Nora. I'm going to say this for about the 10th time. The scientific method has its roots. It was born out of philosophy, philosophical naturalism. Nora just charged me. That is so ironic. I was just reading this. Here's her charge. And speaking to me and you, yet you encourage sleeping lazybones, I'm suspecting that that's Sleeping Warrior, to say repeatedly philosophy has no role in the FED discussion. This is about the 10th time I've corrected people on Flat Earth debates saying philosophy has no role. There, Nora. So your charge is another conjured, baseless assertion fallacy. You are a clown, love. Full-on pretender, one each. Thank you.
Maybe you can just explain that to me then. I know you've explained this to me before, but the method itself may have been born out of philosophical naturalism, but it's an empirical method. So isn't that
right.
by nature not philosophical because of its empiricism?
No, you're correct. Listen, methods derive from your philosophy, not the other way around. Right? So there's nothing wrong. The scientific method has its philosophical underpinnings in logic, right? The scientific method is logical. It uses abductive and deductive reasoning. However, the results from which are not philosophical, they're empirical.
Fine. I'm sure you've said that to me.
Maybe we're getting the cart before the
Chemical
horse.
reaction. It doesn't mingle. It literally becomes something else.
Hold on, I heard cart before the horse. Go on, Paul.
I'm just saying maybe they're putting the cart before the horse. I mean, like the law of non-contradiction is a philosophical idea, but we use that to determine truths. That's what we use, you know. And I think that's the cart. That's the horse. The cart is the scientific method. Does that make sense?
Well,
So,
sure.
yes, maybe.
But you're talking about conclusions that are being drawn from philosophical means that you can debunk with the scientific methodology of empiricism. Presumably, that's what you're talking about.
You want to know what's so ironic? Is that philosophical or the scientific method arose from philosophical naturalism, and the scientific method has disproven philosophical naturalism as a tentative position. That's irony for you. I love it.
So the scientific method superseded philosophical naturalism.
The scientific method, particularly everything based on information, genetics, and quantum mechanics, has disproved philosophical naturalism as a tenable worldview or position.
But doesn't that make it paradoxical?
No, not at all.
Well, I don't know what the broad strokes of
If you're going
philosophical...
to dismiss the thing that spawned you, then wouldn't that technically be a paradox?
Well, hold on. What are the broad strokes of philosophical naturalism as a worldview?
Philosophical naturalism or realism states that there is an objective reality. That means that things are really there when no one perceives them, which quantum mechanics has just taken to the woodshed and bludgeoned with a nail-spiked 44-inch Louisville Slugger.
Sure it did.
Yeah. Yes. Question.
Okay, so can I make a point now, or
no? Hold on, Nathan. Do you understand that?
I do understand it. It's not the first time you've... I don't think that's the first time you've said that to me either. Well, I know it's not. It's probably about like the 15th.
That's
don't know.
okay.
To me, it sounds like philosophical
And
bullshit.
that's not a
You can't go for or against it. It's all pure conceptual.
What
There's
are you
no
talking
proof that it wouldn't exist.
What are you talking about?
Things outside of our perception. There's no proof that they wouldn't exist. It's all
That they-
philosophical.
No proof
they
they wouldn't
wouldn't
exist.
exist.
Isn't that an argument from ignorance?
No, that's the quantum mechanical thing. You just said it. That naturalism says it's there even though we don't perceive it, and quantum mechanics supposedly bludgeons
Not
that to death. Oh,
supposedly.
really? So that means
Not supposedly. It's
Hold on,
not
I got a
supposedly.
question for John.
Take that word out.
So
You said
hold
that.
on.
Hold
No,
on. Can I,
that's fine.
This is important.
That's useful if Arwin sees it in that way to explain why it's not. So if you only have a probability distribution and then knowledge is the only thing that changes it to be an actualization, then before the knowledge you only have a probability distribution in terms of your reality, which is, well, it's not a reality, it's just a probability distribution. So well, let's just see if you agree with what I've just said first of all.
Well, the thing about statistics is technically you can never control it. So statistics kind of falls outside of science in the first place.
What are you talking
because
about?
can
What are
naturally
you talking? That's not
experiment with it.
statistics. It's a wave function.
Oh, statistics
I
is
got
a
a
wave
problem
function, is
with-
it?
Hold
with
on,
wave
I want to
function.
see if Arwin understands this, because this is important stuff. This is stuff that we're getting into on a, you know, although in terms of the subject itself, it's a very basic level, but in terms of flat Earth, this is very complex stuff.
Yeah, okay. It was bound to happen sooner or later. I think that a lot of presumptions on which quantum mechanics are based on presuppositions in themselves.
Really?
Yeah, I know.
Go ahead.
I
Support me.
know what's coming. I've seen Arwin's show. Go ahead, Arwin.
Yeah, that's right. So it basically assumes that light and electrons are physical, separable particles that are indivisible in nature. And there is no real proof for that, and I've already tried to explain that. It's very long-winded to get in all that, but that and the effects sprouting from experimenting or whatever you're testing that thing, yeah, the results that came out of it is what basically caused the wide structural speculation of quantum mechanics. But it was based on that it was a
Oh, this
particle
is horse
Hold on. Let me get to the end. Let me get to the
having
end.
a velocity in the first place. And I
This is
totally
horseshit.
discard that.
Go
Hold
ahead.
on.
We need proof.
I just want to summarize what he's leveling, though. So, are you leveling that the results of the delayed choice or the double slit itself are conjured in a man-made device? Is that first thing?
Well, I don't even want to go there, but
Essentially, though, is that what you're saying?
That's not part of my argument.
It's not. Well, then I've misunderstood your argument. Well, let's just see if I've understood the other side of your argument, which is to say that light's not stuff, correct?
Yes, it's not a singular particle that travels.
That's
Hold on, John. I
erroneous.
just want to get a summary of the other bits then. So, if you're not saying it's because it's false because it's being conjured in the apparatus, what are you saying in regards to the basis of quantum mechanics then?
That the root conceptualization of what is going on is wrong in its assumption in the first place.
Okay, well, before John steps in, I'll deal with that. But it's not. There's no assumption. It's based on experimentation, though, Armin.
Yeah, and both in combination with the assumption that light are separate particles and that are actually in locations and traveling. That's
Fine.
the entire
No worries.
conceptualization.
Okay,
No
so
problem.
yeah, it's one. It's only one claim then. Go ahead, John.
No, that's no problem. He has to refute that light is particles. That's no problem. It's real easy for him to do. Number one, you have to refute the photoelectric effect. Number two, Compton scattering. You have to falsify those and then falsify Heisenberg's uncertainty principle, which states that the more you know the position of a particle, the less you know the momentum of that particle, and vice versa.
Right.
Go on.
Yeah, that's
go on.
nice.
Now.
That's two presuppositions of a particle in
Go
the
on
singular
now.
theory in the first place. So that's really nice.
Go on now. There's no
What I
presuppositions.
say
Go on
is
now.
it's not a particle, it's an instantaneous beam connection of
Go ahead.
infinitely divisible.
Yeah. And if my aunt had balls, she'd be my uncle. So go ahead and start refuting the photoelectric effect. Let's take that one.
Oh, that's fair. Well, I'm not saying there is no photoelectric effect. What I am stating,
Well, then
however,
you're
is that
screwed.
the parameter, can I finish? Is that the parameters of the suggested setup is misleading in the first place.
Oh, sure.
When it
Give
comes
us an
to-
example.
because when it comes to chemical...
Give us an example.
Oh, yeah, you don't like it, do you?
You support
have a
your
point. Now
claims.
you're getting
I don't want to
really
hear
loud,
your
John.
feelings or your opinion on it.
Really loud
Refute
now.
it or shut
When
your
I'm
pie hole.
actually going to explain in detail.
Shut
right?
your pie hole.
Right, yeah.
See,
yeah,
this is a
Support
problem,
it.
John.
See, this is a serious problem. But
Support
I've
it.
explained this very elaborately.
I don't
on
care.
the
We
show.
don't
So if
care about
anyone is interested in
explanations.
actually hearing the
We
explanation,
don't care about
my
explanations.
show, I've
We
explained
need
it at least 3
cowbell.
times. So good luck
Cowbell.
with John Noisy Pants here, who doesn't like when people
Cowbell.
actually try to explain things.
I don't need explanations. I just told you.
Oh, no, you
Cowbell,
don't.
you
You
need
just
to
need to
shout.
Stop, both of you stop. Right, Arwin. So what he's saying is, like with the globe heads, I'm not saying you are one. I'm just saying that when they just repeat their claim, it's.
Good. So can I explain now, please? Yeah. Okay. Right. So what I was going to say, no, don't get him back. I don't want him interrupted. I just want to be able to explain it. Okay. So what I was saying is, when light
just ignored
interacts
me,
with
though.
matter, provable matter, the issue is that matter is actually indivisible units. That is pretty, because if it becomes smaller, it's no longer functioning as the matter it is, and that's an issue with it. So any light interaction is going to be based on the matter minimum indivisibility. So anytime there is a registry of an interaction with light, it's going to be based on that matter minimum, not the light energy.
Show us.
Show us that. Well, why don't you show me that light is an indivisible unit? Because I'm pretty
I already
sure
did.
that
In fact, at the bottom of this video,
gradient of energy.
Hold on, Arwen.
It's a matter of how you
Look, you're both
register
rumpusing
it.
each other. Right, so you said, why don't you show
your
me? Hold on,
pie
Arwen,
hole
hold on,
and
hold
go
on,
to
John,
the-
hold on.
Oh my god.
So we're at the point where Arwen has said, will you show me, after being asked to support his claim? And he's, he's replying, Arwen, even though you haven't supported your claim.
Oh, really?
Okay.
So what is the reply?
Okay, you ready? You scroll down under this video that you're on in the description, and you scroll down to double slit experiment, and it'll show you right in front of your face. Okay? There you go. So I supported my non-claim. Can you support your claim?
Well, I can basically explain why that doesn't prove
Need
that
an
there is
explanation.
invisible light
to
units.
show. Don't need an explanation. Don't need a story. You need to show.
The only way you register light in the first place is by interaction with matter. So you're going to be bound to that matter.
You need to show that light is not particle. Please show.
How can you possibly even register that it is indivisible? We can only determine things based on interaction with matter.
Photoelectric effect and Compton scattering, and then Heisenberg's uncertainty principle. You have to disprove those.
Only lead I have is that light can be almost infinitely, split up, like with prisms and all that shit. And all that light energy will add up. And that gives me the sense that light can be infinitely broken up.
Hey,
and there
Ranty.
is no minimum energy quanta.
Arwen,
There is no unit.
Arwen, I've got. So he's giving you an answer, but it's like you've completely ignored it.
Yes, I have.
Right, why?
I don't have, and it's not in the same field. It doesn't prove it. I can't really prove it. I can only describe it. I don't even know where to begin. I am trying to figure it out. I just gave you an argument why I think it is infinitely divisible by example of the prism and how light, any quantity of light can just be split up. And the only issue is that it can just be too weak, too little amount of energy, light energy, that it just doesn't register with material because there's a minimum amount required in order to have the interaction take place with matter.
Okay.
Wait, that makes perfect
hold on,
sense.
John. Hold on. But what John has described is three things. First, can you repeat what the three things were?
Double slit experiment.
No.
What?
I lost it. Look, I did my say.
That's okay. Just stay calm.
I did my say. I'm done here.
Why? I'm trying to be calm with you. I'm just trying to say you've been given three things, and typically you'll just say, okay, I'll just look them up and look into them. So you've got Compton scattering, the photoelectric effect. I've forgotten the third one.
The Heisenberg's uncertainty principle.
Heisenberg's uncertainty principle. Just look into them. That's it.
Yeah, don't rage quit, Owen.
I'm not rage quitting. I'm just saying I'm done. I explained the complex issue and what my reasons are to assume that light is not an indivisible unit.
Okay.
Explain it in detail, and that I can't really do anything more because I'm still in the beginning stages of even conceptualizing all this.
Now, I'm not asking you to. I'm saying now have a look at the contrary opinion, which it isn't, to your opinion.
I'm a bit flustered. Can somebody just link me up in Skype? I'll take a look.
Excellent. Probably
But
not.
this was given to you back when you first. This was already given to him. I provided a video to him with the photoelectric effect. It was a slam dunk. I already done. I'm not giving it to you again. Go find it yourself.
No, it wasn't. I seen that. I remember that, and out of it came my explanation that I just said about the matter interaction.
Okay, right. This to be continued. Who was asking? Can I?
Right the hand. I have a question.
Go ahead.
The double split is a scientific experiment.
Oh god.
He's asking seriously.
Yeah.
Yes. Is that a yes or no?
That's a yes.
Can
It's a
anybody hear me? I'm
yes.
good.
The answer was
All right,
yes.
so it is a sign. Okay, so what's the observed natural?
Oh God, here we go again.
Right
Okay,
from-
for the 30,567th time,
Right function
the
part.
observant.
I do want to
Okay,
hear this.
are you gonna let me speak?
I have doubt.
Go ahead, John.
Holy shit! Tell me when.
Go.
For the delayed choice quantum eraser for the 30,567th time, the phenomena observed is photons, elementary particles, atoms, and molecules exhibit both wave-like, that's interference patterns, and particle behavior. No interference patterns.
Okay, wait. So hold on. We observe wave patterns. We observe.
Yes, we observe diffraction. Sure.
No. I asked if we observe photons and atoms in the natural world.
We observe light diffracting.
Let me just give clarity. Yes, because we
Okay.
observe light.
So you observe a phenomenon, which seeing objects. Hold on. Let me finish. So you observe. Objects,
no one was
being
talking.
obscure.
Nobody was talking. You can finish.
Go on, don't rumpus him. Go ahead, Bright Hand.
Well, wait a second. He's telling us to not interrupt him. No one was interrupting him.
But now you are.
Yeah, now I am. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so why are you so angry? You sound like
No need.
Because you just charged me with interrupting you fucking clown.
No need. Everyone calm down.
So you observe a mountain being obscured at distance.
Oh God.
Let's stick with the quantum eraser.
Well, I want to know where he observed photons. Like he said, the observed natural phenomenon is photons and atoms.
It's called light.
Where did we, in nature, observe
Light.
a photon? Can you explain that to me?
It's called. Here, let me spell it to you for you. L-I-G-H-T. Light diffracts. That's where we observe it. You get that?
So would it be better to describe it as light instead of photons?
Hold on, he's breaking up. I didn't hear him.
No,
What
no.
if he observed light?
Well, no, because they've scaled it up, chocolate. So it doesn't just apply to light, because you can scale it up with things that are bigger.
But you don't see light. You see it. You see
You do. You definitely do. Right, the
Hey,
hand.
photon is
No,
not
they-
light. It can be considered light, though.
Don't interrupt me,
It never gets old.
If we should be honest discussions, we should have honest discussions. Shouldn't laugh. So we
yeah.
don't observe photons.
Yeah, sure.
We observe
Hold on.
matter. Okay.
We
So
can't
when
hear
you-
right
hold
the hand. Hold
John,
on. I'm
don't
just going to
interrupt
turn
me.
you up
Be
right the hand
professional.
because you're a bit
Listen,
quiet.
you're not
Breaking up. Photon is not light, but it can be considered light.
Yeah, photon is
Way to
light.
go,
What are you talking
Zanuck.
about? What's he talking about? Who said that? Photon is not light.
Photon's
Yeah, it
not
is.
light,
That was-
but it can be considered light. You can think of it.
I don't want my point to
You
get
said it
lost.
again.
I still haven't been given
Who's
the
this?
observed
This is
natural
comic.
phenomenon.
Who's this?
All I've
This is
heard
funny.
he sees light, but we don't see light.
We do see
That's
light.
not light, but it can be part of the
Hold
phenomenon.
on. Right
I
the
mean,
hand.
I could be wrong.
have
But
to
what I
say-
heard,
Hold on,
he
whoever,
said light
whoever,
diffracts.
you're very funny, whoever you are, but let's just stick to right the hand for now. We do see light. That's precisely what we see
So
right
we
the
don't
hand.
have an observed phenomenon. Because we
No,
cannot
no, hold
see
on,
photons
hold
and we
on.
cannot see atoms. We only see the effect of things being distorted when what we think is light is radiating or illuminating off of it. That's all we have. We
What-
have an assumption, and
what we
then you
think is
assume
light.
that it's waves.
What we think is light,
The
right?
double slit experiment is
no, I think it's a
your
valid
Cavendish.
question. It's
You,
a valid
you,
question.
you manifest. Hold on, let me finish. You manifest your effect inside of the.
No, you don't. No,
Okay,
you don't.
well, then
I've already
show me what's
explained
your
this.
observed natural
Just
phenomenon.
go back.
We
Listen,
don't
listen,
see
just said
photons,
right
John.
the hand. Shut
John,
up,
we don't
right
see
the
photons.
hand.
Somebody has to come up and challenge
Shut
you.
your pie hole.
This is what
This
happens.
was already
Nathan has
explained
let
at
you
length.
elevate yourself to this
I'll
point
shut
where
your
nobody
ass
will
up
call you
in a
out.
second.
And what is the observed
Oh,
natural
you're gonna
phenomenon,
call
John?
me out, huh? I
Sorry.
already told you what the observed.
Let me just
I
try
agree
and
with
let me just
that.
try
I
and
agree
let me
with
just
that.
try and get control again. Right.
Oh, I got control. Right the hand. I just controlled him and his verbal diarrhea.
Well, just he's asking what the observed natural phenomena is, and you described that
I gave
it has.
it to him.
I know, but can you repeat it for my benefit?
Photons, elementary particles, atoms, or molecules exhibit both wave-like interference patterns and particle behavior, no interference patterns. Now, if we want a complete discussion on how we discovered that light diffracted, then go to the megathon debate. I don't know which one it is. There is like 30-minute window where I explain this entire history leading up to the double slit experiment. How about that?
Okay, but the problem is you said we observed the phenomenon and then said that the phenomenon is proved through other experiences. So we're not observing a phenomenon. You said when we observe light
Yes, I did.
bending.
Hold on, John.
No, hold on. So hold on. Don't rumpus. So you're saying we observe photons, but we don't actually observe photons. You have another experiment that you says proves photons, which proves what we see, which makes seeing light an observed natural phenomenon. Am I getting this wrong?
Yeah.
Because we don't see a photon. So if you're telling me you see a photon, then the bowler sees
Here
curve.
we go again.
Yes.
I just said.
You don't see
no,
that's
it's all right.
then
Everyone calm
address
down. So
hold on, John. Don't then address what you actually observe in nature, because I
I
cannot
just
see
said
photons
light
or atoms in
diffracts.
nature. But I don't
Light
see atoms or
diffracts.
photons. So don't tell me that's what I'm
Light
seeing.
diffracts.
not listening. Right the hand. So
Particle.
it's when it's described in full, it's the fact that it has two different behaviors. So that is, in essence, a phenomena. It's not a shoe, right? Something's happening.
Hold on. What is the behavior? What am I witnessing light do in nature?
Light diffracts.
What am I telling? Don't just tell me what it's doing.
Diffracts.
Tell me what I see.
For the 25th time, diffract.
So now,
What
how
do you
does a
see?
photon diffract?
Stop telling me what it is and tell me
does a
what you see.
Right the hand and John.
Yeah.
Just
I
like
told
gravity.
him 20 times diffracts, and he still
what-
says that I have.
I know how light
Don't tell
diffracts.
me
How
what-
does a
God.
photon diffract?
Tell
I'm
me
gonna start
what you
muting
see.
people.
Do you
Just
see an
right the
obscursion
hand
of an
and John.
object? Do you see like do you see light? Do you see a light source being bent by a medium? What are you seeing?
Diffraction. That's
What
what
is
I already said it 30 times.
Okay, so we can't see light. So you're telling me we see light bending, but that we cannot.
Oh God. We do see light, though.
No, you don't see light. You see objects that you think something is bouncing off of. You're seeing the actual tangible object, not light bouncing off of it. You see the physical object in the physical world. You don't see some sort
No
of
need.
magical thing from the
magical.
What he's saying, let me just see if I can boil down what he's asking. So, right the hand. Are you saying that?
I'm just asking what he saw.
Yeah,
What
I'm
did you
trying
see?
to establish.
What is it so hard to explain? He keeps just saying refraction. Are you
Calm
seeing?
down.
Do you take
Trying
a laser
to bring
beam and shoot it? Hold
clarity.
on. Do you take a laser beam and shoot
Now
it
he's
through
giving
a
us an
medium and watch
equivalence.
it bend
No,
up?
stop.
Is that the observed natural phenomenon?
Can you just please stop with the verbal diarrhea? So, are you saying that we don't see in nature light demonstrating this dual property of both wave-like and particle-like, i.e., showing you your probability distribution and showing you your two clumps? Are you saying we don't just observe that in nature? Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm saying you. So okay, so you have two headlights on a car, and it starts reversing away from you, and this is what you're talking about, right?
No.
Okay, and if the car had two headlights, then eventually it will look like one light, and you wouldn't be able to tell the difference. Correct?
Well, you're talking about diffraction, i.e., interference.
No, I'm talking about what I see.
I'm in the middle of a sentence, right the hand. Yeah, I know you're talking about us looking at lights that eventually reach a diffraction limit. Well, what is
the
diffraction?
lights get further away from us. Correct.
Diffraction being interference. Yeah.
From
so
the
we've got-
atmosphere. Yes.
Yeah. So we've got interference. Okay. Well, in this context,
From the
this is going to be really difficult if every third word you start talking right the hand. So if we're talking about
hold on.
Literally, he's done it again.
Yeah.
Just
That's what he
shut
does.
up while I'm talking to you.
Yeah. That's why he didn't understand. I said
Yeah,
diffraction like 25 times.
It's
but
complicated. it means you have to actually pay attention for a few more than, what, 2.5 seconds?
Yeah,
So
I said diffraction like
and now,
25
you see, this is
times.
what happens right the hand.
Oh my
Everyone
God.
pipes in. When you talk over me 2 or 3 times, everyone sees it as their cue. So now we're into it not getting explained. The audience not getting a concise explanation because you can't keep your mouth shut. Yeah, so we've got 1/2 of the effect. The diffraction. Exampled by you at the diffraction limit when something's reaching the point of interference because of angular resolution. In that context, you've got one section described of this dual personality, if you will, of light and how it behaves. Now, we don't just have interference when going through a double slit. You have 2 effects. One that shows a diffraction pattern, wave, it's reified often into a physical thing, no, probability distribution, or your 2 clumps, 2 different effects. Now, this hasn't come off the back of somebody just stumbling over a rock and going, oh my god, I just watched a wave function collapse. It's come off the back of other experiments, a progression in science, scientific discovery, if you will. So, no, I can understand you when you say, where do we observe it in nature? Because it's not as simplistic as somebody stumbling over wave function collapse. It's been a prolonged scientific study of light and its behaviour. One of its behaviour being wave function collapse.
Okay, so the observed phenomena is other experiments.
No, the observed phenomena is light behaving in 2 ways. The phenomena is the 2 ways, the difference being the variable between it either demonstrating a probability distribution, wave function, or your 2 clumps, to put it in simplistic terms. It collapses. There's no longer a wave function. Well, that's a phenomena. Establishing the cause. Oh, fuck me.
I don't know. I think that the
Shut
real
the
phenomena
fuck
is-
up! If I am in the middle of a fucking statement, I don't expect people to talk while I'm in the middle of it. Okay, I'm taking my time so that it's clear what I'm describing.
It's
Yeah?
not clear.
How
that's
many
why I'm asking
times
you
have I got to hear Bonehead say, what's the phenomena, for me to slowly and tediously go through it with you? With John in the background
Well, you
going
can
nuts
say it,
because he
but-
said it about 5,000 times. Diffraction. Yeah,
Okay, so let me, this is why I'm trying to be concise. So you observe 2 lights in the distance merging into one. That is your observed phenomenon. So what do
No.
we
No,
vary?
that is
Well,
a
but
type
so why does
diffraction.
science not apply?
No,
Because it's quantum
that means
mechanics.
stop talking and listen to the correction, or carry on babbling like a buffoon. No, that is a type of interference that you are describing at a distance when something is too small to see. Well, diffraction just means interference. In this specific example, we're talking very specifically about a probability distribution, otherwise known as wave function. That is the specific context of diffraction in this example. Not something disappearing into the distance. Not Rayleigh discs. That's something else. Just a different type of interference.
So where is the wave function observation? Because you're telling me that you see lights combining together and that means wave function. To me, that doesn't tell me wave function. That means lights getting
apparent
closer
wave
together because I'm getting further away and there's more atmosphere. The 2 things that we have changed, manipulated to a determined cause, was distance away from light sources and the angular size and the atmospheric conditions. We never
Dude,
varied
that's another
anything
type
else
of
when we did.
diffraction.
Hold
How
on.
many times does
Hold on.
Nathan need to explain
Hold on.
it?
Can I finish my thought? You're doing the same thing. So the observed phenomenon that we have in nature is I don't know where 2 lights come together. That's not a man-made
It's
phenomenon. So now
not
you're
the
going to try and,
observed phenomenon.
so
How
where is
many
the
times
hold
did
on?
I
Where
have
do
to
2
tell you?
where do
See,
2 light
see,
where
I
do
told
2
you won't.
lights come
I'm going to
together
shut
in
your
nature?
ass up. I'm going to shut your ass up right now. That for the past 20 minutes, I have told you what the observed phenomenon was, right? And you still haven't got it yet. You're making shit up. I don't know what to say. You said that I said the observed phenomena was refraction. No, see, if you would have shut your pie hole, you would have heard me say diffraction, right? A long, long time ago, somebody observed light going through a really tiny hole, and instead of keeping that shape or getting smaller, it spread out. It was Heisenberg's uncertainty principle at work. They didn't know that at that time. So it was a natural progression into the double slit experiment to see what the nature of light was. Is that good?
Yeah. Yes, that's very good. Hopefully.
That's a better explanation.
But yeah, it's just...
There's no photon assumption. It's basically light. And then I agree.
Not then it wasn't. Right, exactly. I'm starting out at 0.0. Like I said, go to the mega hangout where I went through this, because this was the big point with Slick and the other, what's the other guy?
Jose?
The supernatural bird's nest?
Anon.
Anon. Remember the megathon debate? Remember? I went step by step through history. I brought them up from, I think it was Da Vinci, who first, quote unquote, coined the term diffraction. So we're talking in the 1500s, right? This was a step by step. They didn't get at photons were particles back then. We're just talking about simple diffraction right here. All that stuff came later, even though Newton said that light was particles, right? That was the big stumbling block, because there's a lot of people that were against him that were saying light was a wave. So this argument's been going on for a long time, right? So it's a stepwise progression. If you go back to that megathon, like I said, I explain this in great detail. Thanks.
Yeah, I can't remember the number, but it'd be a flat Earth debate mega after show. I think I was the name for that particular one. But yes, with that, I will say a huge, massive, enormous thank you to all of you who have joined us on the Nathan Oakley premiering stream, for tuning in, hopefully smashing the super chat, liking, commenting, sharing, subscribing, and all that good stuff. Also, a massive thank you to all of today's debating panel for making this debate possible. I've been Nathan Oakley. Be sure to check out nathanoakley.com and the Flat Earth Debate Forum to keep up to date with the community debate, and I'll see you all in the next video.
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!